In my past life, Baihidu married me because of a family engagement. But he was extremely cold to me. Not until he died a tragic death saving me, did I find among his belongings a diary. Every line was filled with the agony of unrequited love for me. When I opened my eyes, I was back to the day I married him. The first day I moved into the estate. Just as I entered the house, his young maid plotted to frame me. She deliberately led me to Baihidu's bathroom to shower. Baihidu has a fierce sense of territory. And he's a total clean freak. He hates it most when people don't ask first. Or enter his room and touch his things. I realized this was Baihidu's room. Alright, you can go now. I didn't think much of it. I turned the corner and walked in. I casually added, bring me a set of clean clothes. After my shower, I found the servant hadn't prepared any clothes. So I took a bathrobe of Baihidu's from the closet. I left the room, planning to have someone find me a change of clothes. Suddenly, I heard a familiar voice. Coming from downstairs. I'm willing to marry in place of my younger sister. I hope Lord Jiao can be magnanimous. And not blame the Yun family. Her righteous tone painted the image of a good older sister, willing to sacrifice herself for her sibling. Linny was like a kind and stubborn little white flower. Chin up. Eyes slightly red. After speaking, she waited for Baihidu's judgment. My voice drifted down from the stairs. Second sister? What are you doing here? Yuni's pupils shrank. She jerked her head up. The moment she saw me walking down the stairs, she couldn't help but lose her composure. She almost screamed out, Yun Manxia, how can she be here? After hearing Yuni's words, the unpredictable Baihidu also looked up. I had just showered. My hair was slightly damp. Loosely pinned up, my fair face flushed pink. Charming and moving. I was already exceptionally beautiful. My current look was even harder to look away from. However, the most eye-catching thing was that ill-fitting, loose bathrobe. Baihidu recognized it as his at a glance. His deep eyes narrowed instantly. Lin Shen and the servants were all on edge. Yi looked at my bathrobe, then at the servant's face. She understood everything instantly. She immediately asked on purpose, Manxia, whose clothes are you wearing? I paused, realizing everyone's reaction. In my past life, Baihidu indulged me too much. In this garden, there was nowhere I couldn't go. His room wasn't some forbidden zone. So when the servant led me there earlier, I went in without a second thought. But I forgot this isn't my past life. Right now, I've just arrived at Yujing Garden. I'm not familiar with Baihidu yet. And he is a man with a fierce sense of territory. Even for cleaning. Only Auntie Wu can enter his room. Thinking of this, I felt a bit nervous. I feigned composure and walked down the stairs. I stood before him. Hubby, I forgot to take clothes for my shower, so I wore yours. Is that okay? Dead silence. My soft voice tugged at the heartstrings like a plea. Baihidu's long fingers, which were tapping the armrest, stopped abruptly. He looked deep into my eyes. He didn't speak. Yuni sneered inwardly at my overestimation. Lord Jiao has seen everything. Would he fall for this? Yes. The man's deep, magnetic voice broke the silence. Everyone looked over in shock. My heart eased. I curved my eyes slightly. Thank you, hubby. Along with the joy, guilt flooded my heart again. It was only the first day. And he was already so tolerant of me. Does this mean to him I really am a special existence? Yet in my past life, he was so good to me. But I believed rumors and feared him like a tiger. In the end, I hurt him the most. Suddenly, I noticed Yuni's jealous gaze. My look turned cold. I turned. Second sister, why are you here? Yuni quickly hid her expression. She forced a smile. I was worried and came to check on you. Really? I tilted my head. Just now, I thought I heard you say something. About replacing me? Yuni's face froze. She glanced at the imposing man in the wheelchair. Suddenly, she pulled me aside, lowering her voice in a heart-to-heart manner. Manxia, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Didn't I say I would handle the rest of the trouble for you? Why did you come back? Young Master Qing is still waiting. Will you betray him? Wait, we'll beg Lord Jiao to let you go. Don't worry, I'm willing to stay in your place. After all, we're sisters. How can I watch you jump into this pit of fire? Listening to these words, I almost sneered out loud. I was once deceived just like this, foolishly believing her and feeling moved. As a result, before the elopement even lasted a day, I was caught by the family, bound and thrown before Baihidu. And Yuni ran to Baihidu to offer herself. Though she failed to become Mrs. Bai, she gained old lady Bai's favor. She reaped immense benefits. Manxia, why aren't you saying anything? Seeing no reaction after talking for so long, Yuni couldn't help but get anxious. I hid the coldness in my eyes and curled my lips. No need, I said flatly. You should go back. What? Yuni was stunned. Are you going to betray Qingxian? He and I were never together. How is it betrayal? I interrupted her. On the contrary, isn't it only right that I marry here? In my past life, I was raised too stupidly by my stepmother. Bai Qingxian approached me with an ulterior motive. Deliberately. I didn't even see it. He was never willing to commit to a relationship. I didn't even realize he was stringing me along. Instead, I believed that scumbag had some hardship. Hearing my answer, Yuni was dumbfounded. Don't you love him? Aren't you head over heels? What's going on? She wanted to argue more, but she saw me looking at her suspiciously. Second sister. I want to marry Lord Joe now. Why are you insisting I elope with someone? I thought you liked young Master Bai. Who said I liked him? How can he compare to Lord Joe? He was the one chasing me. I just felt bad rejecting him. I curled my lip in annoyance. Is young Master Bai not good enough for you? I gave a cold laugh. The title Young Master Bai sounds nice. I heard he's part of the Bai family. And that he calls Bai Hidu ninth uncle. Many people try to flatter him. But in reality, Bai Qingshuan's father is just someone the Bais don't even recognize, an illegitimate child, such a lowly background. Only in a place like Yang City, far from the capital, would he be chased after. Is he worthy? As I walked out of the garden, Yuni was still left in shock. How did this fool suddenly become so hard to deal with? Having dismissed Yuni, I still had to face Bai Hidu. I was afraid he'd believe Yuni's words and create a rift between us. Just as I was about to explain, Auntie Wu spoke up first. Madam, you entered Lord Joe's room? I paused. Bai Hidu didn't mind the bathrobe earlier, but entering without permission, his room is still a major taboo. I blinked. I told him innocently. I just went in to take a shower. Take a shower? Why did it have to be in Lord Joe's room? Auntie Wu looked at me with a harsh gaze. Because my room had no hot water. I don't know what went wrong. Auntie Wu. Bai Hidu looked up. Imposing without even being angry, this was demanding an explanation. Why would the room he personally arranged have no hot water? Auntie Wu's expression changed slightly. The previous wives also faced this kind of petty targeting, but Master Jiao never bothered with it. Who would have thought he would speak up for the third mission? I'll have someone check later. It might have been my oversight, she quickly apologized. But she still didn't want to let me off easily. Even if that room had no hot water. There are so many other rooms. Why did Madam go to Lord Joe's bedroom? Someone led me there. I glanced at the servant nearby. I had just been reborn. I didn't react in time. Working in this estate. How could Xiaomei not know Bai Hidu's taboos? Especially since no one brought the clothes I asked for, forcing me to use Bai Hidu's closet. It all seemed deliberate. Xiaomei turned pale. Tears were about to fall. She suddenly fell to her knees with a thud. Lord Joe, I didn't. I pointed the madam to the guest room next door. I don't know how she ended up in your room. Auntie Wu, Xiaomei is very honest. She wouldn't lie. Hearing Auntie Wu defend Xiaomei, I knew. Punishing Xiaomei today was unlikely. After all, Auntie Wu's status with Bai Hidu is unusual. I gave up arguing. I looked directly at the man beside me. I said with a pout, I'm already your wife. Can't I even enter your room? The air went still. Lin Shen almost choked on his own spit. Why isn't Miss Yin following the script? Seeing me so tough earlier, pulling Auntie Wu and Xiaomei into it. I thought she'd keep being tough. Who would have thought? Lin Shen took a peek at me. He was surprised. With Master Joe's cold face and aura, the only one who dared to act cute and call him hubby was this third Miss Yun. Those previous wives would tremble just talking to him. I blinked. My eyes were soft and warm. Hubby? Bai Hidu's eyes landed on me. His handsome face was tight, looking cold and profound. Seeing him not speak for a long time, I couldn't help but feel nervous. I thought dejectedly. Right, it's not my past life after all. Xiaomei couldn't help but show a mocking expression. Master Jiao was in a good mood earlier. Being tolerant once was one thing. Did she really think she was special? You can. I blinked instantly. I tilted my head slightly. I couldn't help asking, can I enter in the future too? You are my wife. You can enter anytime. Are humans with double standards always like this? The previous wives never had this kind of privilege. Thank you, hubby. Even in my past life, I could come and go from his bedroom as I pleased. Getting this promise now still made me happy. I went over and gave his arm a hug. The man's body stiffened instantly. I thought he wasn't used to it. My face flushed. I quickly let go. I'm going back upstairs to change, I said softly, glancing at the bathrobe I was wearing. Bai Hidu said flatly, asking Auntie Wu why the madam's clothes weren't ready. He showed I was special twice. How could Auntie Wu dare say more? They're ready now, she said hurriedly. He nodded. Then he ordered them to prepare the room for me. The guest room next to his. He didn't even bother to ask which room Auntie Wu had arranged before. He decided for me directly. Auntie Wu's face changed. She wanted to say her daughter had chosen that room. But in the end, she didn't say it. I was even happier. Hubby, I'm going up. Lively footsteps disappeared up the stairs. Bai Hidu looked away. He unconsciously touched the arm I just hugged. It felt as if a warm sensation still remained. Don't let the wrong room incident happen again, he said coldly. Xiaomei's face turned pale. Yes, Lord Jiao. I got upstairs and realized I hadn't explained things to him. But thinking about it, he didn't seem angry just now. He probably didn't take Yi's words to heart, right? I breathed a sigh of relief. With Baihidu's orders, Xiaomei soon brought several sets of new clothes. She also said the side room would take a while to finish. I'll have to ask Madam to wait a bit. I was in a good mood. I glanced at her. It's fine. I'm not in a hurry. Xiaomei suppressed her anger. She left quickly. Madam is making things hard for you. So arrogant on the first day. She really thinks she's something. A servant came over. Her tone was resentful. Then she sneered. Lord Jiao said he wouldn't fulfill the engagement. But she still came crawling back. Who knows what her family wants? I heard she just arrived today. And her family is already asking for favors. Seems like you all know quite a lot. The servants were startled. They turned to see me standing at the corner. Their faces changed instantly. They all quickly bowed their heads respectfully, drenched in cold sweat. My expression was cold. I said to Xiaomei, you forgot my shoes. Sorry, madam. It was my oversight. I'll get them for you right away. We're going back to work too. The servants were full of guilt. They scattered at once. My gaze darkened. Asking for favors? My father, who would sell his daughter for profit, is exactly the type to do that. Looks like I need to remind Baihidu later. Even if he sells. Even if there are benefits. They should go to me. What does it have to do with him? I turned back to the room. A few minutes later, Xiaomei brought the shoes. I glanced at them. Put them down and leave. Xiaomei turned to leave. She looked gloomily at the door of the side room. She thought for a bit and sent a message. Xiaoya. When are you coming back? Wu Xiaoya, Auntie Wu's daughter. I didn't stay in the room for long. A servant came to call me for dinner. The first time dining with Baihidu after rebirth. I was really looking forward to it. I hurried down. But the table was empty. Where's Lord Jiao? Lord Jiao went out. Oh. It's hard for him to walk right now. Yet he still went out. Whatever he's doing must be very important. I knew my place and didn't ask further. I ate alone. And went back upstairs. Just reborn. I had many things to recall and organize. Around 9 p.m. Baihidu came back. Before I even went out. I heard it. A loud crash from something falling next door. Then the sound of Baihidu's voice. My heart tightened. I quickly opened the door to try and help. I have many problems to solve. And the most urgent one is Baihidu's illness. Unable to resist fate. One can only walk toward death in despair. It's enough to drive someone mad. Baihidu usually suppresses it. He doesn't let it show. But he is actually on the verge of being driven mad. I went out and ran straight next door. During the years I was used by Bai Qingxian. If I gained anything, it was my fairly excellent medical skills. I reached the door next door. Just in time to see Lin Shen being kicked out. Along with a servant holding a medicine box. The servant's face was pale. They didn't dare go in. I sighed. I reached for the medicine box. Give it to me, Lin Shen hesitantly reminded me. Lord Jiao and I had an engagement since childhood. Are you saying my happiness is what matters most? Master Jiao, but I'm a bit lost now. Master Jiao, Lin Shen said you aren't in a good mood. I softened my voice. I'm a bit worried about you. Worried about me? His tone was ambiguous. His strength seemed to dissipate a little. I felt him looking at me. I crouched down beside him. One hand on the wheelchair armrest. The other searching in the darkness. My hand accidentally touched his thigh. The muscle beneath instantly tensed. The next moment, my hand was grabbed again. But this time, his grip was measured. Not enough to let me escape. But not enough to hurt me. What are you doing? The man's voice was tight. I felt a bit guilty. Like I'd accidentally acted like a rogue. But my tone was innocent. Looking for your hand. Why look for my hand in the dark? I gripped his wrist in return. Checking his pulse while talking nonsense. Aren't you in a bad mood? I'm here to comfort you. Baihidu fell silent. Strangely, he didn't pull his hand away. A moment later, I had my answer. I was both surprised and troubled. The surprise was that I could treat his illness. The trouble was the key medicine isn't available yet. That specific herb won't be ready for months. It will come from the plants my mother left. Produced in the research institute. And that institute is in my grandfather's hands. Lord Jiao? Madam? Lin Shen's tentative voice from outside. Woke me up instantly. What happened? I raised my voice. It's nothing. Lin Shen's voice sounded suppressed. In the room, I let go. Carefully testing the waters. Can I turn on the light to change your dressing? After a moment of silence. Baihidu said, no need. But your injury, let Lin Shen in. I smiled instantly. Okay. I ran to open the door. Lin Shen, come quickly and help Lord Jiao change his dressing. What? Lin Shen didn't quite react. Get in here. Baihidu's cold, deep voice rang out. As Lin Shen hurried past me, he gave me a complicated look. I went back to my room. Bai Qingxuan's call came in immediately. I hung up and blocked him. My father Yun Hong's call rang out next. Why has your phone been off? It was out of battery. You're at the estate, right? What's wrong? You'd better behave yourself. Since you married Lord Jiu. Don't have any more schemes. Cut ties with everyone you should. Yun Hong's voice warned me. What schemes? You still won't admit it? If Yi hadn't let it slip, I wouldn't have known you wanted to elope. Thankfully, Yi was sensible and stopped you. Otherwise, you'd have killed the whole family. Yi? Cold light flashed in my eyes. What let it slip? What stopped me? Heh. Yun Hong brought up business again. By the way, since you're married to Lord Jiu, about our family's company, you should mention the capital injection to Lord Jiu. Lord Jiu isn't that easy to talk to. We'll see. I hung up. I remembered I hadn't warned Baihidi yet. I ran next door and snuck inside. The door wasn't shut tightly. There was no one in the room. The bathroom light was on. After a moment's hesitation, I was about to leave. Suddenly, I heard a thud from the bathroom. I rushed over and pushed the door open. After a split second, I heard another thud. I slammed the door shut. The door panel vibrated. My face turned beet red. My mind went blank. A moment later, the man's faint voice rang out. I just accidentally knocked over the body wash. Yeah. I saw. I stammered, why did I come over? Oh, I wanted to tell you something. It's about, if my father asks you for help. Baihidu paused. You must not agree to it. I mean, if he uses me as an excuse. To ask for help. Like injecting capital into our family's company. Just ignore him. Why? My eyes darted around. Because I married you. I didn't sell myself to you. I can spend your money because I married you. But why should our family make you spend money? Baihidu was silent for a moment. Okay, he slowly replied. Hearing his deep voice, I felt a bit nervous. My face felt hot again. Then I'll head back. Get some rest. Good night. I quickly slipped away and ran back to my room. My cheeks burned. Early the next morning, I woke up very early. Thinking I could have breakfast with Baihidu. I went downstairs full of anticipation, but I was the only one at the breakfast table. Where's Lord Jiu? Aunt Wu said indifferently. Lord Jiu isn't used to eating with others. I was stunned. I felt a bit disappointed. I had no appetite and didn't eat much before getting up. Where's Lord Jiu? Lord Jiu is very busy. When nothing's happening, he likes to be alone. Aunt Wu said with a long face, Madam. Don't disturb Lord Jiu if it's not important. I paused. Aunt Wu. What did you just call me? Madam? I smiled. But there was no warmth in my eyes. So you do know I'm Lord Jiu's wife. And the mistress of this house. Then do I need others to tell me what to do? Whether Lord Jiu likes being disturbed. He will tell me himself. There's no need for others to worry about it. Aunt Wu, don't you think so? Aunt Wu's face turned pale instantly. I ignored her. I went upstairs to the study door. Lin Shen was there. Is Lord Jiu in? Lord Jiu is busy. I couldn't see him. I was a bit disappointed. I need to go home for a bit. Please let Lord Jiu know for me. This morning, I got a call from my stepmother, Xiao Lian. She told me to come back for something left at home. I had to go get it. As soon as I entered the Yun family home, Xiao Lian greeted me with a smile. Her words were gentle. Manxia, you're back. Staring at her smile, a flash of gloom passed through my eyes. Yes, I'm back. Xiao Lian paused for a moment. Then she pointed to Yun Hong's stern face. Why are you throwing a fit with your father? Go and apologize to him properly. I didn't take a single step towards him. I'm going to my room to pick up some things. After saying that, I went to my room on my own. Standing at the doorway, looking at the familiar yet strange furniture, relying on my memory, I searched through the cabinet where I used to hide things. I looked for the medical notes my mother left behind. A moment later, my expression changed. The notes were gone. I got up and walked out. Just then, I saw Yuni returning. Manxia, you're back. Yuni acted like a good sister. What happened? Why do you look so upset? I glanced at her. Something valuable of mine is missing. Did any of you go into my room? Yun Hong said angrily, what do you mean by that? Are you suspecting your own family? I left it in this house. If it wasn't someone here, then it must have been a thief from outside. I said flatly. Maybe the servants misplaced it while cleaning. They might have accidentally lost it. Xiao Lian quickly tried to smooth things over. Manxia, tell us, what is this valuable item? The notes left by my mother. Suddenly, the room went silent. The living room was full of servants. Yuni was gently trying to persuade me. It was probably lost by mistake during cleaning. Those who didn't know shouldn't be blamed. Don't pursue this any further. Even if you find the person, they couldn't pay you back even if they went bankrupt. Are you trying to drive someone to death? Just let it go. The servants immediately gave her grateful looks. I sneered inwardly. I knew they were comparing us again. Thinking I wasn't as kind as Yuni. My cabinet was locked. Unless someone stole it intentionally, it would be impossible to get it. So, losing it while cleaning is impossible. I said coldly, I called everyone here to ask. Because, out of respect for the years you've spent with the Yuns, I'm giving you a chance to confess and repent. Or do you really think I don't have evidence? But since you don't want to cherish this opportunity, then let's call the police. We'll let them decide the punishment. I took out my phone to make the call. Yuni's heart skipped a beat. She subconsciously asked, what evidence? I looked at her. I said slowly, I installed a camera in my room. In the top right corner of the desk. Did you guys not notice? Yuni's face changed instantly. She thought back carefully. Indeed, on my desk, there was something that looked like a camera. Seeing that I was really going to call the police, she was too panicked to think. She stepped forward and snatched my phone. In an instant, everyone was staring at her. My gaze was cold. Second sister, what are you doing? Yuni smiled forcedly. I remember now. The notes seemed to be with me. My tone was ambiguous. I've been asking for so long and you had no recollection. As soon as I'm about to call the police, you suddenly remember, second sister? The servant's looks towards Yuni became quite subtle. The collective gaze made Yuni feel exposed. While cursing inwardly, she forced an explanation. When Lin Wei's cousin came to visit, she said she wanted to see them, so I took them from your room and forgot to put them back. It's been so long. I just happened to forget. Is that how it is? I gave a cool smile. Then please return them to me, second sister. Besides, those are my mother's belongings. They're highly valuable. Don't touch them carelessly in the future, second sister. Otherwise, people might think you stole them on purpose. Yuni's smile froze. She gritted her teeth. Fine, I'll go find them. She found them quickly. What she handed me was a combination box. One look and I knew she had stolen it. But likely hadn't been able to open it yet. I went back to my room to pack. Anything related to my mother. And anything I deemed important. I packed it all up. My stepmother Xia Lian came to the door. Her face fell. Manxia, what are you doing? Are you planning to never come home again? I'm married now. I have my own home. Naturally, it's not right to keep coming back. Thinking of Baihidu. My heart felt full. Yes. This isn't my home. It hasn't been since mother passed away. From now on, wherever Baihidu is my home. There's no need to take so many things. People will misunderstand if they see this. Xia Lian's tone was somewhat reproachful. I feel safer taking them with me. What if they get accidentally lost at home again? Yuni, who had just walked over, heard this. Her face turned an alternating shade of blue and red. I ignored them and pulled my suitcase toward the door. Just as I was about to leave, I remembered something. I turned back. I picked up that camera-like object from the desk corner. I tossed it into the trash can. Oh, I forgot to mention. This is just an ornament. It's not real surveillance. My tone was innocent yet subtle. I just wanted to flush out the culprit. I never expected it would be you, second sister. Seeing Yuni's nearly distorted expression, I felt delighted. I dragged my suitcase and left. Back at Eugene Garden, I noticed the atmosphere was off as soon as I entered. The servants looked at me, as if they were startled by my return. They instinctively glanced upstairs. There was a hint of anticipation for drama in their eyes. Before I could ask what was going on, I heard a noise from upstairs. Throw all of these away. Who put this junk in here? Didn't I say this room is mine? No one is allowed to enter. That was a young girl's voice. My gaze darkened. I handed my suitcase to a servant. Take this upstairs for me later. Then I headed upstairs. I walked straight to the secondary bedroom. I saw Wu Xiaoya acting like she owned the place. She was sitting on the bed, directing servants to clean the room. The clothes I had put in the closet only yesterday had all been taken out. My suitcase in the corner had also been dragged out. It was dumped in the middle of the room like trash. My heart turned cold. Madam. The two servants noticed me. Their expressions changed instantly. Still holding my things, they froze in place. They instinctively looked at Wu Xiaoya. Who gave you the right to touch my things? Standing at the door, I scanned my messy room. I asked coldly. The two servants' lips trembled. Too guilty to speak, they remained silent. These things are yours? Wu Xiaoya stood up and looked me over. Why are your things in my room? Are you a new servant? Has no one told you these are the master bedrooms? You can't just come in here. Her tone was condescending. Yun Manxiao lazily lifted her eyelids. I ignored her. Instead, I asked the two servants, do you know who I am? Is she a new maid? Wu Xiaoya's expression faltered. I am not a servant. She retorted. Then who are you? I am Wu Xiaoya. Her tone was reserved yet superior. As if I should already know who she was. But I stood my ground. Looking puzzled, I asked, Wu Xiaoya? Who is that? Is there such a master in Eugene Garden? Wu Xiaoya felt insulted. She gritted her teeth. My mother is Aunt Wu. Oh, so you're Aunt Wu's daughter. I looked enlightened. I said flatly. But Aunt Wu's daughter is not the master of Eugene Garden. Who allowed you into my room? The phrase, not the master of Eugene Garden, felt like a sharp slap to Wu Xiaoya's face. She suppressed her anger. With a provocative smile, she said, Lord Jiu personally told me I could have this room. Baihidu personally said that? I didn't believe a word of it. You just said this is a master bedroom. Before you boast, consider your own status first. I looked at her ugly expression. For Aunt Wu's sake, I continued. I'll assume you entered the wrong room this time. Not minding her expression, I glanced at the two servants. I order you to. I commanded, before Lord Jiao returns, restore my room to its original state. This is the only chance I'm giving you. I hope you cherish it. After saying that, I turned and left. The people in the room were stunned by my sudden aura. I went downstairs. Watching the floor above, I realized the commotion in the secondary bedroom was continuing. I curled my lips coldly. I didn't go up to stop them. 2 hours later, Baihidu returned. Hearing the sound of him entering, my eyes lit up. I ran out to greet him. You're back. Seeing the girl running towards him with a bright smile, Baihidu's deep, cold eyes softened for an imperceptible moment. He suddenly caught sight of the suitcase I brought, which was still sitting next to the sofa. He asked, just got back? I shook my head. I've been waiting for you for over 2 hours, I said coquettishly. Hearing this would make anyone's heart sweeten. But Baihidu's gaze soon darkened. He gestured to the suitcase. If you've been back this long, why haven't you taken your things upstairs? Are the servants not listening to you? Hearing his displeased tone, the nearby servant panicked, face turning pale. She looked at me pleadingly, hoping I'd explain it wasn't her fault. Before I could speak, Wu Xiaoya came downstairs. Surprisingly, she was dragging a suitcase, looking like she was about to leave. Seeing Baihidu, she ran over joyfully. Lord Jiao, but she quickly saw me standing beside him. Her eyes turned red instantly. Her smile became forced. My eyes narrowed. What is she up to now? Xiaoya, you're back? Lin Shen was familiar with her, and asked casually, where are you going? Wu Xiaoya looked aggrieved. She glanced at me. Someone here can't stand me. Lord Jiao, I think I should move out. Fine, I see what she's trying to do. I stood aside calmly, watching the show. Move out? What happened? Lin Shen glanced at Baihidu. Seeing Lord Jiao didn't speak, he asked with concern. Someone doesn't like me living here. Wu Xiaoya looked at me again. With tearful eyes, she said, she says I'm just a servant's daughter, and that I don't belong here. As soon as she said that, several subordinates looked at me with hostile expressions. Xiaoya is Aunt Wu's daughter. Whether she belongs here or not is for Lord Jiao to decide. Ning Fei, a subordinate, glared at me. He spoke first. I remembered him. He was a very loyal subordinate of Baihidu's. Young and vigorous, he liked Wu Xiaoya. In my past life, he was killed because of her. Under everyone's displeased gazes, I only looked at Baihidu. I asked sweetly, husband, I am the mistress of Eugene Garden, right? That title always stirred a strange feeling in my heart. Baihidu looked into my eyes. His gaze deepened. Of course, he said unhurriedly. Then who is she? I pointed my slender finger at Wu Xiaoya. No one dared to answer. Only the honest servant nearby replied. Madam, Xiaoya is Aunt Wu's daughter. The next moment, my clear voice rang out. Oh. Aunt Wu's daughter. Is it possible that in Eugene Garden, Aunt Wu's daughter is more noble than me, the mistress? Wu Xiaoya's expression changed slightly. Just as she was about to speak, Baihidu spoke first. Who told you that she is more noble than you? Isn't it so? I tilted my head. If it weren't so, then how could she blatantly seize my room and throw my things into the guest room? As the mistress of Eugene Garden, I'm forced to stay in the guest room, while a servant's daughter stays in the secondary bedroom. Is this how things work in Eugene Garden? After I finished speaking, the air went still. Ning Fei and the others looked at Wu Xiaoya in shock. Panic flashed across Wu Xiaoya's face. Lord Jiao, I didn't know she was the mistress. Then your hearing must be quite poor. I interrupted her coldly. The two people next to you were calling me Madam so loudly, yet you didn't hear? Wu Xiaoya bit her lip, her expression fraught. She looked at Baihidu aggrievedly. Lord Jiao, you promised me before that you'd give me a reward if I did well on my exams. I want that room. It was the room closest to Baihidu. She wanted it. My heart suddenly tightened. Baihidu always kept his promises. Before he could speak, I beat him to it. Husband, you wouldn't just watch a servant's daughter bully me, would you? I spoke willfully, my beautiful eyes widening slightly. As I awaited his answer, Wu Xiaoya's face turned pale. She hated being called a servant's daughter the most. Baihidu met my nervous gaze. After a moment of silence, he said, I won't. My heart relaxed. Joy instantly flared in my eyes. Wu Xiaoya cried out, Lord Jiao, I did say I'd give you a reward, but that doesn't mean I'll grant an unreasonable request. Baihidu said flatly, for example, making the mistress of Eugene Garden give up her room for you, while she stays in the guest room. Silence fell. Wu Xiaoya's face flushed and paled. She was in complete shock. Seeing her expression, I almost couldn't help laughing. Noticing Baihidu looking over, I quickly restrained myself and blinked innocently at him. I didn't notice the man's eyes suddenly darkening. I turned and asked Wu Xiaoya with a smile, by the way, where are you moving to? Do you have a place to stay? Do you need help finding an apartment? Wu Xiaoya's face was a mess of emotions. Under everyone's gaze, she gritted her teeth and mumbled, I'm not moving. She couldn't afford to be embarrassed right now. If she actually moved out, she would lose everything. Then go and restore my room to its original state. Find everything you threw out. Take all your things away. That's not too hard, is it? I commanded in a matter-of-fact tone. Wu Xiaoya's eyes turned red with anger. She felt I was treating her just like a servant. But she didn't dare say anything in front of Lord Jiao. She could only answer humiliatingly, I understand. She was about to head upstairs. But I suddenly glanced at the suitcase in her hand. I said helpfully, such a heavy suitcase. It must be hard for you to carry alone. Before she could respond, I told a nearby servant to help her. The servant stepped forward. Wu Xiaoya tried to stop them, but it was too late. The next moment, the servant lifted the suitcase. Huh, the servant blurted out in confusion. Why is it empty? I raised an eyebrow in mock surprise. Weren't you just about to move out? Why bring an empty suitcase? Feeling all the subtle gazes fixed on her, Wu Xiaoya was overwhelmed with shame and anger. She hated me to death. I'm going to clean the room. She snatched the suitcase back and practically fled in panic. As soon as I turned around, I met Baihidu's meaningful gaze. I felt a bit guilty. He definitely saw that I did it on purpose. But then I thought, I wasn't in the wrong. Suddenly, my confidence returned. Husband, what's wrong? In Baihidu's deep eyes, a faint, imperceptible trace of a smile flashed by. Nothing, he said, then paused. Who moved your room? Is he going to stand up for me? My eyes lit up. I turned and scanned the room, confirming 2 figures, and immediately pointed them out without hesitation. The 2 servants' faces turned pale. Lord Jiao. We were just listening to Xiaoya, helping her clean the room. We didn't know anything. Didn't Lord Jiao used to ignore everything before? Their excuses were laughably clumsy. Baihidu's eyes. Baihidu didn't even give them a glance. He only said to Lin Shen, tell Aunt Wu later to deal with them. Lin Shen responded. The 2 servants realized it was all over for them. My heart felt sweet. I ran over to push the man's wheelchair and asked, where did you just go? From the side, Ningfei interjected, Lord Jiao's affairs are confidential. Madam, it's best not to ask, because of Wu Xiaoya's matter. He had a very bad impression of me. I rolled my eyes in my mind and said unceremoniously, so you know I'm the madam? Then why are you interrupting when I'm talking to Lord Jiao? Have you no manners? Baihidu's cold voice rang out. Ningfei immediately dared not speak anymore. I huffed, lifting my chin at him like a victor. Ningfei's expression was unsightly. I didn't care about him. Then I continued caring for Baihidu, trying to probe quietly. But Baihidu didn't answer. He just said, go do your own things. Let Lin Shen push me. I have things to handle in the study. His tone was gentle but left no room for argument. Lin Shen took over the position by his side. I felt a bit dejected, knowing he still hadn't trusted me in that regard. I didn't dare ask more. He was so sharp, it would be over if he thought I had ulterior motives. Never mind, it was still early. Just as Baihidu was about to enter the elevator, I hurried to catch up again. Husband. The wheelchair stopped. Baihidu turned back. What is it? Can you have dinner with me? I looked at him expectantly, my voice carrying a hint of a spoiled wine. I didn't want to sit alone in the dining room. Silence for a moment. Baihidu slowly responded, okay. Don't go back on your word. I laughed happily. The man's cold features softened slightly as he looked at me. He entered the elevator. I walked upstairs with a light step. My room had been restored to its original state. In the hallway, I saw Wu Xiaoya clutching her things, walking toward the guest room with a terrible expression. Seeing me, she walked over, sneering and about to speak. I spoke first, leisurely saying, I suggest you think before you speak. If you make me unhappy, then as Lord Jiao's wife, the right to kick out a mere servant's daughter should be something I have, right? All of Wu Xiaoya's words were suddenly blocked. Move aside. You're blocking my way. Wu Xiaoya was about to explode with rage, but then I heard a voice full of malice from behind me. Do you really think Lord Jiao likes you that much? I'll be waiting to see your end. When that time comes, I wonder if you'll be dragged away by people from the mental hospital, or carried away in an ambulance? I suddenly narrowed my eyes. Wu Xiaoya hurriedly ran away in triumph. I entered my room thoughtfully. Baihidu's previous 3 wives, 1 died. 1 went mad. Everyone outside says he was the one who did it. But I don't believe it. Thinking of the truth I learned before I died, my heart felt swollen with mixed emotions. I opened my suitcase, finally took out that combination box, entered the code, and took out the notebook inside. The notebook contained many lost ancient formulas. There were 2 copies in total. One was with me. The other was at my maternal grandfather's house. The inheritance my mother left was also like that. But in my last life, not a single one of those things ever reached my hands. Flipping through the notebook, seeing one of the ancient formulas, I suddenly thought of someone. My teacher from my last life. Teacher's child was born ill and couldn't be cured. An ancient formula in this notebook could save him. But by the time I knew, the child was long gone. I quickly took a photo of that formula. Wait. I don't seem to have the teacher's contact information. The teacher and I had originally met on a medical forum. Although it wasn't time for us to meet yet. The teacher's account should already exist. My eyes lit up. I quickly searched and registered an account. Then looked it up. I found it and was about to send the photo. But then I stopped. Wouldn't this be too obvious? After thinking about it, I took photos of 2 other formulas. Then sent them all together in the name of seeking advice. After doing this, I was just about to take a shower. Suddenly, message notification sounds rang out incessantly. I remembered. Where did you get these formulas? Is it possible to meet? On the other side. Qin Jingda said excitedly to his wife, there's hope. Our Xiaoheng can be saved. At this moment, after some deliberation, I refused the request for a meeting. Currently, I still have too many things to do. However, in the near future, I will rely on my own ability to become the teacher's student once again. Dinner time. I arrived at the dining room with great anticipation. Baihidu promised me that he would eat with me. The dining room was empty. He hadn't come down yet. I sat down and began to wait patiently. But even by mealtime, Baihidu still didn't appear. I looked at the empty dining room and couldn't help asking Aunt Wu, where is Lord Jiu? Aunt Wu said flatly, Lord Jiu is busy. Lord Jiu promised to have dinner with me. Did you just call him? I did, but Lord Jiu doesn't have time. Madam should eat first. I glanced at her and said nothing more. I got up and headed straight upstairs. Aunt Wu tried to stop me, but I dodged her with agile movements and went up. Arriving at the study door, I knocked twice. Lingxin came to open the door, surprised. Madam? I looked inside. Is Lord Jiu still busy? Before Lingxin could answer, Baihidu's deep voice came from inside. What's wrong? Lingxin stepped aside. I saw the man at the desk at once. He was putting down a file, turning his head to look at the door. My heart throbbed heavily. This man's charm is so strong. How did I not see it in my last life? It's dinner time. I leaned against the doorframe and reminded him tactfully. Baihidu glanced at the time and remembered what he had promised me. It was my oversight, sorry. It's okay, didn't I come to get you? I ran over and beat Lingxin to it, pushing his wheelchair. In the dining room, Aunt Wu saw that I really did bring Lord Jiu down. Her expression changed slightly. Baihidu saw the food on the table and said, next time, you don't need to come up yourself. You can eat first. And let a servant go. I glanced at Aunt Wu. I did ask Aunt Wu to call you. But Aunt Wu said she already had. And that you were too busy to eat. Aunt Wu's heart skipped a beat. Sensing Lord Jiu's gaze, she hurriedly said, I remember calling you. Could it be that I remembered wrong? Oh, I'm getting old, my memory isn't so good. I overlooked this point. In the future, for such things, Aunt Wu should let someone else do it. My voice was clear and pleasant. Lest it happens again like today, where I almost couldn't have dinner with Lord Jiu. I took Baihidu's hand and gave it a shake, acting soft and spoiled. Husband, am I right? The sudden intimacy made Baihidu's body stiffen slightly, but looking at my hand on his arm, he didn't pull away. Yes, you're right. His response nearly made Aunt Wu choke on her breath. Seeing Aunt Wu's face, I smiled triumphantly. After dinner, when I went back to the room, I ran into Ning Fei and Wu Xiaoya at the door of the master bedroom. Wu Xiaoya was holding a medicine kit. Ning Fei was telling her what to watch out for when changing Baihidu's dressing. My beautiful eyes suddenly narrowed. For changing bandages, with me, his wife, here, is there any need for anyone else? Seeing me come over, Wu Xiaoya smiled provocatively and deliberately showed off the medicine kit in her hand. If Madam has something to say to me, that'll have to wait a while. I'm busy going to change Lord Jiu's dressing right now. As she spoke, she was about to enter the door, but her hands suddenly became empty. The kit was in my hands. What are you doing? Wu Xiaoya's smile froze. I appreciate the thought. But as for changing bandages, we don't need you. I'll do it. On what grounds? On what grounds? I laughed. On the grounds of my relationship with Lord Jiu, with me here. Is there any need for you? After speaking, ignoring her ugly expression, I walked through the door leisurely. In the room, Baihidu had just come out of the bathroom and changed into a bathrobe. Just one glance made last night's scene pop into my head. My ears quietly turned red. Why is it you? Seeing me, he was somewhat surprised. That short sentence made the thoughts in my heart instantly vanish. Why can't it be me? Was the one he wanted to see Wu Xiaoya? I'm here to help you change your dressing. Baihidu paused and said, there's no need for you to do such things. Go rest. Let someone else come. Which someone else? I blurted out. Realizing my tone was a bit aggressive, I quickly restrained myself. I'm your wife. Is there anyone more suitable than me? I want to change your dressing. Baihidu said softly, then come here. His injury was on his right calf. The wound looked quite hideous. My hand trembled slightly. Baihidu looked down at me and asked softly, "Are you scared?" I lowered my head to get the medicine, my voice muffled. "I just think it must hurt a lot. I've seen even more terrifying wounds." I just felt bad for him. Bahidu was momentarily stunned. "It doesn't hurt," he said in a low voice. I didn't believe him. I carefully treated the wound, wrapped it with fresh gauze, and then let out a sigh of relief. "All right, go back and rest," Bahidu said gently. I responded with a hum, packed the medical kit, and left. I found that Wu Xiaoya was actually still there when I stepped out. She gave me a resentful glare. My mood soured again. "Why are you still here?" "Lord Zhou clearly called for me to change his dressing," Wu Xiaoya said. I paused. "Lord Zhou called you? Who else?" "Humph." Wu Xiaoya was extremely smug. "What if you snatched my opportunity? Weren't you still kicked out by Lord Zhou so quickly?" I lowered my eyes slightly, ignored her, and went back to my own room. My heart felt heavy and dull. Early the next day, Bahidu unusually appeared in the dining room, but I was still feeling dispirited. "Who made you unhappy?" he asked. I gave him a resentful look. "No one." Watching me walk away, Bahidu hesitated for a long time. Before asking Lin Shen, "Why is the madam unhappy?" Lin Shen was slightly surprised. After thinking about it, he said, "Sometimes you don't need to know why. You just need to coax them until they're happy." "How to coax?" Ling Xing racked his brains. Suddenly he thought, "Madam seems to be a student at a university. Isn't a university going to send you flowers recently? Just give them to the madam." Bahidu thought for a moment, nodded, "You go and arrange this." Lin Shen responded, and immediately called a university. The people at a university were both surprised and delighted. "Rest assured, if Lord Zhou likes them, it is our honor. We will send them to you immediately." Unaware that Bahidu was quietly preparing a surprise, I was receiving a call from my stepmother, Yun Lian. "Next week is Lian's birthday," she said tentatively. "I wonder if Lord Zhou will have time then." I almost laughed. What was Bahidu's status? "Lord Zhou probably won't go," I said directly. Yun Lian asked, "Why? Didn't you talk to Lord Zhou properly?" "I know. Our Yun family is a bit underqualified to invite Lord Zhou. But the relationship is different now, after all. Of course I talked to Lord Zhou." I said, "Lord Zhou said if it were my biological mother's birthday, he would definitely go. But the problem is, Auntie, you're not." I hung up the phone, with a mocking smile. At this time, in the guest room, Wu Xiaoya was being active in the university freshman group chat. She ran to the window, took a photo of the garden, and sent it to the group. "Sigh, the sun is so strong outside. I don't even want to go out." The photo featured rare and expensive flowers, immediately causing a wave of amazement. After a while, someone mentioned the school's flower delivery event. "Gosh, can it really be like that? Miss Xiaoya, did you receive any? If you did, could you send me one? Please, please." Wu Xiaoya didn't say anything. The servant Xiao Mei ran over to knock on the door. "Xiaoya, a university sent flowers over. Are they for you?" Wu Xiaoya's heart skipped a beat. She ran downstairs, and indeed, someone had brought flowers. The person said, "I hope Lord Zhou likes them." "Is this what Lord Zhou wanted?" "Yes," Xiao Mei whispered excitedly. "Lord Zhou must have requested them specifically for you, right? You're the only one in the house with a connection to a university." Wu Xiaoya's heart was racing. Xiao Mei said again, "Back when you got into a university, Lord Zhou said he would give you a reward. Then the room was snatched by that woman. This must be Lord Zhou's compensation for you." Wu Xiaoya felt sweet inside. She reached out. "Lord Zhou has gone out. Give the flowers to me." The flower delivery person left. The surrounding servants all smiled and flattered her. "Lord Zhou still cares about you in his heart, Xiaoya." Wu Xiaoya blushed, both smug and shy. She lifted her chin. "All right, don't say any more. Everyone go back to work." She cradled the bouquet in her arms and skipped up the stairs, taking several photos from different angles to post in the group chat. "Received the flowers, flowers." The group chat was filled with excitement and envy. Wu Xiaoya didn't understand any of this, but seeing everyone envying her, the corners of her lips curled up high. I was just watching Wu Xiaoya showing off in the group chat when I received a call from Bahidu. "Did you receive the gift?" The man's deep voice came through. My ear tickled a bit, and then I was stunned. "What gift?" "A bouquet of flowers," he said. "Lin Shen just told me they've been delivered. They should be downstairs. Go down and take a look." Bahidu actually sent me flowers. I was surprised and delighted, and that bit of gloom in my heart was swept away in an instant. "I'll go down and check." Hearing the joy in my voice, Bahidu's features unconsciously softened a bit. I took my phone and prepared to go downstairs, but just as I walked out the door, I ran into Wu Xiaoya holding the flowers. My gaze instantly froze on that bouquet. "Where did you get these flowers?" Wu Xiaoya smiled smugly. "Lord Zhou gave them to me." "Are they pretty?" "Lord Zhou gave them to me." I was full of doubt. Did Bahidu send 2 bouquets? Ignoring her, I quickly went downstairs to ask, "How many bouquets were just delivered to the house?" "Only one, of course." Xiaomei saw Wu Xiaoya behind me and smiled contemptuously. Madam, you don't think that bouquet was sent to you, do you? That's thinking too much. It was specially for Xiaoya from Lord Jiu. The surrounding servants who were working all looked over. Hearing there was only one, the doubt in my heart vanished. I immediately turned and reached out to Wu Xiaoya. This isn't yours. Give it back. How is it not mine? If it's not mine, could it be yours? Wu Xiaoya huffed and hugged the flowers tightly. These are flowers sent from a university. A reward from Lord Jiu for my upcoming admission to a university. Even if you wanted them, could you even get into a university? I scoffed. I'm sorry. I got in last year. These flowers really are mine. Give them back. Wu Xiaoya's heart skipped a beat. The servants watching the commotion also froze. Her hands hugging the flowers tightened, still unwilling to let go. You say they're yours, so they're yours? Lord Jiu didn't say. I was too lazy to waste any more breath. I directly took out my phone, called him back, and put it on speaker. Husband, is the gift you gave me the flowers from a university? Everyone heard Baihidu's voice come from the phone. Yes, Lin Shen said many students at your school want them. So I had someone prepare them for you. Do you like them? Xiaomei's mouth hung open. The other servants all looked at Wu Xiaoya. Wu Xiaoya's expression froze. Her face burning hot. I do like them, but they haven't reached my hands yet. I glanced at her, leisurely. Baihidu's voice dropped a bit. What's going on? I reported her without hesitation. Wu Xiaoya has the flowers. She said you sent them to her. And refused to give them back to me, huh? Wu Xiaoya wished she could rush up and cover my mouth. On the phone, Baihidu said, I'm coming back right now. The call disconnected. Wu Xiaoya's face turned slightly pale. She could tell from his tone that Lord Jiu was angry. She glared at me with resentment, shoved the flowers into my arms, and said, take them. Like anyone cares about them. I avoided her and didn't take them. If you don't care about them, you didn't seem to say that just now. I see you like them very much. Keep holding them, I'll wait for Lord Jiu to come back. Saying this, I sat down nearby. Wu Xiaoya was dying of rage. Baihidu returned very quickly. You're back. I stood up to greet him. The man gave a hum. Seeing my bright smile, his cold features softened a bit. His gaze swept toward Wu Xiaoya. Lord Jiu. Wu Xiaoya stood there apprehensively. The flowers had already been placed on the coffee table by her. What's going on? Baihidu asked. I don't know. I hummed and went over to push his wheelchair. I was very happy when you told me you had a gift for me. But then Wu Xiaoya said they were specially from you for her. Weren't those flowers for me? How did they become someone else's? Baihidu furrowed his brow and looked at Wu Xiaoya. I thought Lord Jiu gave them to me. Wu Xiaoya said aggrievedly. Baihidu, even if you misunderstood at first, after I told you they were mine, you still didn't return them to me. I said, let me think. You even mocked me, saying if they're not yours, could they really be mine? Told me to get into a university first before talking. That is what you said. I'm not remembering it wrong, am I? Wu Xiaoya gave me a look filled with resentment and rage. I smiled slightly, my gaze cooling. Wu Xiaoya looked at Baihidu with reddened eyes. Lord Jiu, you promised to give me a gift. He really did agree to that? I couldn't help but glance at Baihidu, feeling a bit sour in my heart. Noticing my gaze, Baihidu paused. He corrected her. I never said I would give you any specific gift. When the admission letter arrived, you said you wanted a reward. For the sake of Aunt Wu. I agreed. But even now, you haven't decided what you want. So it turns out she was the one who asked for it, and he just offhandedly agreed. I felt happy again. Wu Xiaoya's cheeks burned hot, feeling humiliated. Say it now. What do you want? Baihidu's tone was indifferent. His patience was nearly exhausted. Wu Xiaoya glanced at me, biting her lip. I want a bouquet of flowers exactly like the madam's. My smile vanished. I snapped my head toward the man. This was the first time he'd ever sent me flowers. If he really gave Wu Xiaoya an identical bouquet, I would probably be disgusted to death. I glared at him. My gaze fierce yet pleading. Screaming, don't you dare agree. With such an obvious look. Baihidu noticed. A flicker of helplessness passed through his heart. Pick something else, he said. My heart relaxed. And the corners of my lips curled up slightly. Wu Xiaoya wasn't satisfied and wanted to speak again. But when she met the man's eyes, her breath caught. I haven't decided yet. She bit her lip and lowered her head, not daring to say more. Baihidu said, then tell me when you've decided. Then Lord Jiu, I'll go back to work. Wu Xiaoya turned to leave. But Baihidu said, hold on. Wu Xiaoya's heart skipped a beat, feeling uneasy. Just then, Aunt Wu came over to plead for her daughter. Lord Jiu, Xiaoya has been spoiled by me. She's a bit ignorant. I hope you won't hold it against her. Baihidu looked up unhurriedly, his expression unreadable. Aunt Wu, you are her mother. Since you know she is ignorant, then teach her well. I don't want a next time, where she still doesn't know how to speak to the madam. Nor do I want something like today's incident to happen ever again. Aunt Wu's face changed slightly. She heard the warning in his tone. Yes, Lord Jiao. I will teach Xiaoya properly. Baihidu waved his hand. Go back to work. Aunt Wu hurriedly pulled Wu Xiaoya away. Baihidu looked at the bouquet placed to the side. He reached out, and Lin Shen understood, taking it and handing it to me. The bouquet was beautiful. A fiery red color. I lowered my head blankly. Seeing that I didn't take it, Baihidu was a bit puzzled. You don't like it? My heart beat a little faster. I do. I cherished the bouquet, hugging it to my chest, gently stroking the delicate petals. The more I looked, the more I liked it. Baihidu looked at my face, which was even more radiant than the flowers, and asked, Are you happy now? What? I looked at him in confusion. Beside him, Lin Shen spoke up. This morning, Lord Jiao saw that you seemed a bit unhappy, so he prepared this bouquet. I was stunned. I didn't expect that behind this gift there was actually such thoughtfulness. My heart felt full and warm. Seeing that I didn't answer, Baihidu frowned almost imperceptibly. Just as he was about to speak, I lunged into his arms and hugged him. I'm very happy. Husband, thank you. The rest of Baihidu's words were instantly swallowed. His body stiffened slightly, but he didn't push me away. Instead, I was the one who felt embarrassed. I quickly stood up, my small face flushed. I'll go put the flowers away. After saying that, I ran upstairs with a thud. I ran back to the room to set the bouquet down. Going back downstairs, I found Baihidu was actually still there. My footsteps paused for a moment, but I still went over and sat on the single sofa next to him. You put them in the room? He asked. I nodded. Then my beautiful brows furrowed slightly. Will they wither quickly if I just leave them like that? Maybe I should find a larger vase with water to keep them in? Seeing me so serious, obviously liking and caring about them very much, Baihidu's cold brow relaxed a bit. Why were you unhappy this morning? He asked. Hearing him bring this up, I couldn't help but look at him. Then I pouted my lips and mumbled something in a low voice. Baihidu didn't hear clearly. I raised my head, my voice getting a bit louder, sounding huffy. I said, Why did you let Wu Xiaoya change your dressing last night? My cheeks puffed out. It's not like you don't have a wife. How can you let another woman do that? Can't you have a bit of self-awareness as a married man? Beside us, Lin Shen, who was secretly drinking water, suddenly choked. Both Baihidu and I looked at him at the same time. Lin Shen's heart tightened, and he hurriedly put down the water cup. Lord Jiao, I'll take these things to the study first. After saying that, he quickly slipped away. Pulling back his gaze, Baihidu was a bit dazed, feeling a subtle sensation in his heart. You were unhappy because of this? Is this not worth being unhappy about? I felt a bit aggrieved, my tone suddenly becoming dejected. Or do you feel that since we haven't gotten our certificate, you don't consider me your wife? Baihidu, I don't think that. Looking at the unhappy me, he said helplessly, I didn't ask her to change my dressing. The one who always changes it is Ning Fei. He had something to do last night and had to leave early, so I told him to call a servant. Who told you that I called for Wu Xiaoya? Really? I looked up suddenly, light returning to my eyes. Really, he said. A tenderness he hadn't even noticed himself in his voice. I smiled again, and pulled on his arm, using a coquettish tone. Then when are we going to get our certificate? I tried to sound as bold as possible, but a trace of shy embarrassment was still hidden. Baihidu paused, saying calmly, when my leg injury is fully healed. He agreed. I ran upstairs with cheerful steps to put the flowers away. I didn't mention Xia Lian's birthday to Baihidu. I didn't plan on having him go with me, but I didn't expect he would find out beforehand anyway, because of the dress Yunyi sent over. Hearing a servant report that my sister was here, and was talking with Lord Jiao downstairs, my eyes narrowed. I quickly went downstairs. What kind of intentions this stepsister of mine had for my husband, I hadn't forgotten. When I got downstairs, Yunyi was standing there shyly, handing an invitation to Baihidu with both hands. The birthday banquet is in 5 days. My mom hopes Lord Jiao can attend. I hope so too. Baihidu's indifferent gaze glanced at the invitation with no intention of taking it. Yunyi took another step forward, getting closer to the man, her voice soft and delicate. Lord Jiao. Before she could finish, her feet suddenly slipped and her body tilted. With a delicate cry, she fell toward the man's lap. Ah! The back collar of her dress was suddenly grabbed from behind. In an instant, Yunyi was almost strangled. Second sister. You were standing perfectly fine on the level ground. How could you fall? My voice rang out leisurely. Those who don't know any better might think you were trying to seduce my husband. With a force of my hand, I yanked the leaning Yunyi back hard. A smile hung on my lips, but my eyes were cold as ice. Yunyi's expression froze, covering her guilt. What are you saying? I just accidentally lost my footing. I curled my lip, giving a perfunctory "Oh. Your sister says she came to bring you a dress." At this point, Baihidu spoke, his tone indifferent. I know. A servant told me just now. My eyes instantly warmed up. I walked over to his side and sat down next to him. I looked up at Yuni. It's just a dress. Why did second sister have to come in person? You could have just had someone deliver it. Yuni was looking resentfully at our bodies which were almost touching. I came to bring the invitation to Lord Jiu. How could I let a servant do something like this? That would be disrespectful to Lord Jiu. She gave a soft smile. Bringing an invitation? I scoffed inwardly. Delivering an invitation is an excuse. Seducing my husband is the real goal, right? I already told Aunt Xia that Lord Jiu isn't going. I hugged Baihidu's arm and said softly, "Husband, isn't that right?" A flash of resentment and jealousy appeared in Yuni's eyes. But she suspected I hadn't actually told Lord Jiu at all. She hurriedly looked at him. Baihidu felt me quietly shaking his hand, and saw me blinking and giving him a signal. "Yes, I'm not going," he said. I felt a secret joy, happy about the understanding between us. I turned. "Second sister, you heard him. Lord Jiu isn't going." Yuni bit her lip. Lord Jiu. The Yun family and the Bai family are considered relatives now. My hand hugging the man's arm tightened slightly. Baihidu noticed, and his words were no longer polite. I remember that Xiaxia's mother is no longer here. The implication being, Xiao Lian is not my mother. So what right does she have to expect him to attend? Yuni's expression froze. I was very happy in my heart. He called me Xiaxia, and he shared my thoughts. I wanted to send her away. Second sister, leave the dress. You can go back now. But Yuni hadn't come all this way easily. She didn't want to leave so soon. She smiled. The dress was personally chosen for you by me. It took me quite a long time to choose. Take a quick look and see if you like it, she said, having someone bring it out. The moment the dress was displayed, the air suddenly went still. I looked at the bold red and green color scheme. The bizarrely styled dress. The corners of my lips twitched downwards. It really was the style I used to like. A style that Xiao Lian and Yuni had deliberately cultivated in me. Do you like it? Yuni still asked me with a smile. A trace of coldness flashed in my eyes. I love it. It must not have been easy to find such a garment, right? It must have been hard for second sister. Yuni didn't catch the sarcasm. As long as you like it. Taking a little extra time is nothing. Since you like it, you must wear it on the day of the banquet. Give everyone a big surprise. Hearing her tone of fooling an idiot, I curled my lip. Sure, I said with a half smile. Watching her leave, Baihidu looked at that dress and frowned deeply. He asked cautiously, "You like this style?" I glanced at the eye-stabbing dress and said quickly, "No, I don't." Hearing this answer, Baihidu's furrowed brow smoothed out slightly. Lin Shen couldn't help but interject, "Then why did the Yun family send the madam such a thing?" I pursed my lips. Because before, the clothes I wore were all in this style. Lin Shen and Baihidu's brows furrowed again. "Didn't you say you don't like it? Then why did you wear them?" I glanced at him, looking pitiful. This kind of clothing isn't pretty at all. Other people laugh at me when I wear them. I didn't want to wear them at all. But every time we went out to a banquet, my stepmother and sister would find things like this for me. Thinking back now, I was truly stupid and pathetic. Hearing my words, Baihidu's gaze darkened. "Since you don't like it, don't wear it in the future," he said indifferently. "Get rid of that dress." Lin Shen acknowledged, "Yes," but I stopped him. "Wait." I blinked my eyes, my tone innocent. "They kindly sent these clothes to me. How can I just throw them away?" 3 days later, it was Xiao Lian's birthday banquet. When I was leaving, I specifically ran to the study door and said, "Husband, I'm going." Baihidu waved his hand. "Go ahead," but I didn't move. Baihidu looked up from his desk. "What? Why don't you call me Shasha anymore?" I clung to the doorframe, looking at him with expectant eyes. I was very shy, but my words were direct. "I like it when you call me that." Baihidu's breath hitched for a moment. He looked at me, standing at the door with eager eyes. After a moment, "Shasha," he said with a hint of helpless compromise. A brilliant smile instantly bloomed on my face. I'm going." I picked up my skirt and ran cheerfully toward the Yangqing Hotel, the venue for Xiao Lian's birthday banquet. Yuni was dressed up grandly. With several socialites her age gathered around her. Yun Manxia hasn't arrived yet. Is she really going to wear that? This time's is even more bizarre than the last one. Just thinking about it makes my eyes hurt already. They spoke of me with tones full of disdain and contempt. Yuni had already sent a photo to the group, saying that it was the dress I was going to wear today. Hearing everyone's discussion, she felt a secret delight in her heart. "This is your mother's banquet. How could you let her run wild like that?" Yuni gave a bitter smile. I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen to me. She insisted on wearing that. "If you ask me, you shouldn't have let her come. What's the difference between her coming and ruining this banquet? This is your mother's birthday after all." The corners of Yuni's lips curled almost imperceptibly. "No matter what, she's my sister. It's my mother's birthday. How could she not come? If she makes some kind of fool of herself later, I'll have to ask everyone to please be patient." The people around her were frustrated. Your temper is just too good." She's not even your biological sister. Why be so nice to her? As they spoke, they completely forgot that I was the real young lady of the Yun family. Amidst the chatter, someone suddenly ran over. Yun Manxia is here. The eyes of several people instantly lit up, showing expressions of waiting for a joke. She's here, she's here. My eyes are already starting to hurt. I don't know what kind of makeup she did today. It's bound to be hideous. Just think about the past and you'll know. The group spoke excitedly, not noticing that the person who brought the word had a strange expression. No. The person opened their mouth. Yun Manxia, today is a bit different from before. Someone laughed mockingly. How is it different? Is it even more of an eyesore than usual? The others followed with unrestrained laughter, looking toward the door at the same time. Then, all of a sudden, all the laughter came to an abrupt halt. Smiles froze on their faces. Their eyes widened, looking there in disbelief. The entire banquet hall went silent for a moment. Countless pairs of eyes stared at the door in unison. At the focus of their gaze was a young girl walking in leisurely, with eyes as clear and beautiful as glazed glass, a face as lovely as a flower, and a light blue evening gown. The hem of the skirt was embedded with crushed diamonds. It was as if a galaxy was flowing as she moved. My dress today was specially made by someone commissioned by Baihidu. The makeup and hairstyle were also done by a professional team. I certainly wouldn't be so stupid as to wear the dress sent by Yunyi. Am I seeing things? Someone murmured in shock. Is Yun Manxia this beautiful? I only remember her wearing those eyesore clothes. Yunyi's smile was stiff, her nails digging fiercely into her palms. How could she dress up like this? Besides Xiao Lian, someone said in surprise. That daughter of yours is actually so beautiful when she dresses up properly. Xiao Lian's heart sank. Once again, Yun Manxia had escaped her control once again. On the surface, she gave a helpless smile. Who knows what this child is thinking? She liked her previous look herself, so I couldn't really interfere. Yunyi walked quickly to my side, lowering her voice and asking urgently, Manxia, why aren't you wearing the clothes I prepared for you? I lazily raised my eyelids, picked up my skirt, and spun around. Don't I look good like this? I asked, noticing that those people's gazes were almost glued to me. Yunyi's smile was extremely strained. You do look good, but it's a bit ordinary. It doesn't have as much personality as before. The previous one suited you better. Lying with her eyes open, I glanced at her, then suddenly smiled. Second sister, do you like that dress very much? Yunyi was only thinking about coaxing me, so she subconsciously said, of course. Then that's easy. I brought it with me. Wouldn't it be better if you wore it yourself? As I spoke, I made a gesture behind me. The next moment, someone came in holding that eyesore dress. Some people couldn't help but make a sound of disdain. Yunyi's heart gave a jolt. Just as she was about to speak, my clear and pleasant voice rang out. Second sister, didn't you say you like this dress? I brought it for you. You should wear it yourself. In the future, you and Aunt Xia shouldn't prepare clothes like this for me anymore. Although you and Aunt Xia think they look good, I don't. Before, you liked them and insisted I wear them, so I had no choice but to wear them for you. But now I don't want to wear them anymore. Because my husband also says they don't look good. I didn't deliberately lower my voice. The people around us all heard it. They were stunned for a moment. Then they all looked at Yunyi with subtle gazes, as well as Xiao Lian. A child whose mother is dead is truly pitiful, being fooled like that by a stepmother. Speaking of which, back when the first Mrs. Yun was still around, she often brought her daughter out. The little girl was so likable back then. Someone whispered. Immediately, many suspicious looks fell on Xiao Lian. Xiao Lian and Yunyi both changed expressions. Yunyi barely maintained her smile. Manxia, what nonsense are you talking? Didn't you want to wear these clothes yourself? I showed an expression of surprise, my beautiful brows furrowing in disdain. It's not as if I don't have a normal aesthetic. Why would I want to wear such ugly clothes? Clearly, every time, you guys coaxed me into wearing them. Second sister even gave me that kind of makeup. You always said it looked good. But I didn't like it at all. The gazes directed toward the mother and daughter became even stranger. Yunyi's lips stiffened, and she hurriedly turned to her mother for help. Xiao Lian walked over with a gentle smile. All right. It was my misunderstanding. I thought you liked it, so I had to dress you like that. Since you don't like it, just don't wear it in the future. Yun Hong had just entered the hall. Hearing the commotion, he walked over. Seeing me, he frowned. What's going on? Xiao Lian sighed. Manxia is angry. She feels that those previous dresses were forced upon her by me and Yi, but I thought she liked them, and kindly had Yi help her dress up. Beside her, Yunyi showed a matching aggrieved expression. Hearing this, Yun Hong's face immediately darkened. He scolded me, your sister kindly helped you and she's in the wrong? My smile faded, looking at the father in front of me. He has always been like this. I lowered my head, to hide the icy chill in my eyes. I thought of my mother, who died in an accident when I was 5. I hope it really was just an accident. Raising my eyes, I said, Dad, am I really your biological daughter? Why are you good to my eldest sister? And good to my second sister, but you're only bad to me? Clearly, I've done nothing wrong, yet you reprimand me every time. I glanced at Yunyi beside him. Second sister looks more like your biological daughter standing beside you. While I feel like an outsider. Xiao Lian and her daughter's expression stiffened. At once. Yunhong's face turned livid. What kind of nonsense are you talking? The surrounding guests couldn't help but steal glances. Xiao Lian felt anxious and hurriedly tried to smooth things over. Alright, Manxia was just speaking off the cuff. Why are you losing your temper with her? Without waiting for anyone to speak, she smiled again and asked me. Manxia, what birthday gift did you prepare for me? Birthday gift? I smiled. This was exactly why I came. With a wave of my hand, someone walked up behind me, holding the birthday gift I brought. When the box was opened, inside was a document. And a pen. Xiao Lian's gaze instantly became fervent. I caught a fleeting glimpse of greed in her eyes. My lips curled coldly. I said, starting from 4 years ago. On every one of Aunt Lian's birthdays, I have gifted her shares in Jiehua Entertainment. 10% each year, it's exactly 40% after 4 years. Xiao Lian's gaze grew even more impatient. I picked up the document and the pen, and held them out to her. Xiao Lian reached out to take them. The next second, when she saw the words on the paper, her smile froze. At the same time, my voice rang out. Aunt Lian said before that I was too young, and that those shares wouldn't be safe in my hands. So she helped keep them for me. That's why I gave them to Aunt Lian. But now that I think about it, I'm already 19 years old. It shouldn't be that unsafe anymore, right? Besides, in the future, my husband will help me manage them, so there's no need to keep them with Aunt Lian. I'm very grateful to Aunt Lian for helping me for those years. Now, Aunt Lian can return them to me. I was all smiles. Xiao Lian looked up in utter shock. Manxia, what's wrong with you? I looked at her in confusion. Aunt Lian, why aren't you signing? The guest's strange gazes swept over Xiao Lian over and over again. If I remember correctly, the other major shareholder of Jiehua Entertainment is the Gu family, right? The family of Yun Manxia's biological mother. How could it not be safe? What do you mean unsafe? It's just an excuse. Hearing these discussions, Xiao Lian's expression almost crumbled. Aunt Lian? I reminded her leisurely. She managed to squeeze out a smile. Manxia, did someone say something to you? How I've treated you all these years. Everyone can see for themselves. I can't believe you distressed me so much. I'm truly a bit heartbroken. No one said anything to me. I gave a thin smile. I just feel that I'm already 19. And those shares should be taken back. If they stay with Aunt Lian, people will overthink it. For example, they might think Aunt Lian wants to steal what's mine. Xiao Lian tightened her grip, nearly snapping the pen. How can you talk to your Aunt Lian like that? Yunhong roared. Your Aunt Lian is so good to you. Think about how much effort she's put in for you all these years. And you're speculating about her like this? I sneered in my heart. Good to me? Put in effort for me? Yeah, if she hadn't put in so much effort, my reputation wouldn't be as terrible as it is now. I bit my lower lip. I didn't want to speculate about Aunt Lian like this, but if Aunt Lian still doesn't sign, many people will start to speculate about her. Suddenly, everyone's eyes were fixed on Xiao Lian's hand holding the pen. Yunhong felt the gazes. With a grim face, he said, Xiao Lian, sign it. You helped her keep them out of kindness, but not everyone will be grateful to you. Xiao Lian gripped the pen tightly. Her smile strained. She had finally gotten her hands on those shares. How could she be willing to let them go? But since Yunhong had spoken, she suspected this brat was doing it on purpose, deliberately choosing this occasion to pressure her. I laughed in my heart. Isn't that obvious? Without a little pressure, how could she possibly let go? In the end, Xiao Lian very painstakingly wrote her name on the document. Then, suppressing her anger, she looked helpless. How could I covet your things? I can't believe you don't trust me. Fine, take them back. When she handed the document to me, her heart was bleeding. She put on a look of being wronged. Some people started to sympathize with her and mutter that I was heartless, slandering my stepmother and being aggressive. I had long seen through her little tricks. My lips curled up, my eyes full of admiration. I know Aunt Lian isn't that kind of person. I can see Aunt Lian's concern for me, doing everything personally for me all these years, even preparing new dresses for me to attend banquets, even though I didn't like them very much. How could Aunt Lian be plotting against me? I don't believe it for a second. It's just that outsiders will make wild guesses, so I'll just take the shares back first. Anyway, you would have returned them to me sooner or later, Aunt Lian. Am I right? Xiao Lian felt a blockage in her chest as she listened, but she couldn't refute it. She could only force out a smile. Manxia, it's good that you're still willing to believe me. Among the guests, some couldn't stand it anymore. Is this girl a fool? One look at that stepmother and you can tell she's up to no good. Does she still think her stepmother is a saint? I faintly heard a comment. I curled my lips imperceptibly. Xiao Lian heard it too, feeling like coughing up blood. Is Yun Manxia a silly sweet girl? This brat was clearly being sarcastic. Having achieved my goal, I was in high spirits. I put the documents back into the box. As for the birthday gift, I proactively asked for the shares back, to protect her reputation. Isn't such thoughtfulness a great gift? Alright, the banquet is about to begin. Yunhong spoke up with displeasure. I said nothing more, and walked away contentedly, holding the box. No rush, this is just the beginning. Many eyes in the hall followed my movements. Seeing this, Yuni's mood worsened. Snap out of it. She noticed several socialites around her. Looking at her inquiringly, Yuni's heart tightened. She gave a strained smile. Xiao, why are you all looking at me like that? Yun Manxia said just now that her previous look was all your and your mother's doing. No one was a fool. Yuni hurriedly explained. I thought she liked it, so I kindly helped her. I didn't expect her to dislike it. But she never said anything. She bit her lip. Her tone aggrieved. We've known each other for so long. Don't you guys know what kind of person I am? Seeing her act like this, the girls hesitated for a moment, and chose to believe her after all. Suddenly someone said, wait. Yun Manxia just mentioned her husband. Is she married? They all looked at Yuni together. Who did she marry? Thinking of that man, Yuni felt an intense wave of jealousy. She gave a forced smile. And said vaguely, I'm sorry, it's not very convenient to tell everyone. Her tone was subtle, successfully making everyone misunderstand that not convenient. Unless Yun Manxia married someone unpresentable. Hearing them guess in that direction, Yuni looked embarrassed and troubled. Sorry, I really can't tell you. But she didn't deny their guesses. Immediately, looking at me nearby, everyone's gaze became disdainful again. They whispered mockingly. From the way she spoke just now, one who didn't know better would think she married some great person. Exactly. Did you guys know? I just heard people say that Yun Manxia actually came here by taxi. What? No way. Her husband's family doesn't even have a car? They laughed wantonly. When the banquet was almost over, and I was about to leave, the few of them exchanged looks, showed wicked smiles, and followed me. I saw it was about time and prepared to head back. But suddenly Yuni's group walked toward me. Yun Manxia, how do you plan to get back? It's not by taxi, is it? No way. Does your husband not even have a car? Listening to their mocking tone, I lazily raised my eyelids. Whether my husband's family has a car is none of your business. Don't you have boyfriends? Why are you so concerned about someone else's husband? It so happened that someone, passing by, heard this, and immediately looked at Yuni and her friends with disapproval. The girl who had spoken turned red in the face. Who's concerned about your husband? That man of yours who's unpresentable, embarrassing, and doesn't even have a car. Who would want him? My mouth twitched slightly, my expression becoming odd for a moment. White Ninth Lord is unpresentable? Embarrassing? Doesn't even have a car? I glanced at Yuni. If she didn't have a hand in this, I wouldn't believe it. Let me clarify something. I slightly raised my chin. My husband is very handsome. He's more presentable than anyone else. I don't know how many cars he has, but it's definitely more than what's in your family's garage. Of course you don't want him, because you're not qualified to. Huh. That's hilarious. If he has so many cars, why didn't he come to pick you up? You still have to take a taxi home. I was about to speak, when suddenly a voice interjected from behind me, Madam. I turned around abruptly, and saw Lin Shen standing respectfully behind me. I was surprised. Why are you here? To pick you up and take you home, of course. As he spoke, he motioned toward the car behind him. I looked and my eyes widened in pleasant surprise. The car window wasn't fully closed. I could faintly see a figure in the back seat. It was Baihidu. Along with the surprise, my face suddenly turned red. Did he hear what I said so loudly just now? Madam, please get in the car, Lin Shen said. The people opposite were all dumbfounded. My husband came to pick me up. Goodbye. I quickly walked toward the car. Lin Shen opened the car door for me. Just as I was about to get in, I suddenly stopped again. Turning back, I said, Second sister, you've clearly seen my husband before. And you know his identity and what kind of person he is. How could you let them say those things? After saying that, I climbed into the back seat. The car door closed, watching the car drive away. The girls were filled with doubt and uncertainty. Yuni's eyes were full of shock and jealousy. The person in the back seat was the Ninth Lord. The Ninth Lord actually came to pick her up in person. What did she mean by that just now? You lied to us. The friends beside her suddenly questioned her, with unfriendly looks. I didn't. Yuni denied hurriedly. Do you take us for fools? Didn't you say Yun Manxia's husband was very poor? Does this look like someone poor? I didn't say he was poor, Yuni said somewhat aggrievedly. I only said it wasn't convenient to disclose his situation. Her eyes flickered. I can't tell you the details. I can only tell you that it's not convenient for him to appear in public, and his reputation isn't great. Many people are unwilling to marry him. Manxia only had to marry him because of the engagement. The group was led astray by her again. Could it be? Is Yun Monxia's husband someone who has money, but is very ugly or disabled? It's very likely. Otherwise, why didn't he get out of the car just now? In the car, why did you come to pick me up? I could have taken a taxi back myself. It's not that far. I looked at the man beside me, feeling a bit bashful. And yet happy. It's fine. It was on the way, Baihidu said. When did you arrive? I asked in a low voice, testing the waters. Baihidu remained silent for a moment, then said tactfully, when you were refuting them. Boom. I felt like my head was about to smoke. My cheeks were burning intensely. Why, you heard it all? Baihidu's deep eyes gazed at me, thinking of my proud little look just now. He found it indescribably cute. I didn't quite dare to meet his eyes. Pretending to be calm, I said, I wasn't wrong anyway. My husband was already very handsome. Not wanting to continue this embarrassing topic, I opened the box to show off to him. Look at my results for today. What is this? Company shares my mother left me. I got them back from my stepmother. I said triumphantly, looking at him expectantly. Baihidu understood my meaning. He paused, then said, Very good. Hearing him say this, my ears quietly started burning again. I turned my head away bashfully. It's not that good. I was very stupid before. And let people trick me out of my things. Baihidu's elegant gaze traced my beautiful profile. But you're not stupid now. You're very clever. The atmosphere in the car unconsciously became thick and heavy. My face was hot from his praise. I solemnly placed the box in his arms. For you. Consider it my dowry. My face was flushed bright red. I wanted to give you something else too. But this is currently the most valuable thing I have. By the end, my tone was a bit dejected. This gift, which many people coveted, might not even count as precious to him. For me? Baihidu was slightly stunned. He had received countless gifts in his 27 years. But never had any moved him more than this stack of papers today. Because this was almost her everything. And she gave it to me without hesitation. Seeing that he didn't speak, I puffed out my chest and promised, when I have money in the future, I'll definitely give you something better. If someone else had said this in front of Baihidu, it would only provoke laughter. Money was the thing Ninth Lord Bai lacked least. But looking into the girl's sincere and clear eyes, he didn't find it laughable at all. Instead, he was slightly dazed as he gazed at me. I suddenly felt a sense of being enveloped in danger. The man suddenly laughed softly and said in a low voice, all right. I'll take it. I was suddenly stunned. In 2 lifetimes, I hadn't seen Baihidu smile more than a few times. What's wrong? The man asked me, his tone seemingly a bit softer. I suddenly snapped out of it. Nothing. My cheeks grew hot. And I hurriedly looked away. I couldn't help but mutter in my heart, my husband is truly good-looking. At Eugene Garden, why isn't Ninth Lord back yet? Wu Xiaoya looked outside for the nth time. Xiaomei said while wiping a vase. Maybe he got delayed by something. The words hadn't even finished, when Baihidu's car came to a stop. Wu Xiaoya was about to run out gleefully, when she saw the car door open. The first one to step out was actually me. So Ninth Lord went to pick her up, Xiaomei said. The way Ninth Lord takes home and the hotel where she attended the banquet aren't even in the same direction, are they? It looks like he made a special detour to pick her up. And that dress of hers. Ninth Lord had it custom-made specifically for her. It's one of a kind. Wu Xiaoya gritted her teeth. Stop talking. Her gaze was dark. Let her be smug for a couple more days. Just wait. In 2 more days, I'll make her get out of Eugene Garden. I sensed a malicious gaze. I instinctively turned my head, and just happened to catch a glimpse of Wu Xiaoya as she ducked away. I narrowed my eyes, and temporarily set this matter aside. I went to the other side of the car. Lin Shen just happened to bring the wheelchair down. Husband, let me help you out of the car. I happily ran over and opened the car door. Baihidu said with a hint of indulgence, all right. Lin Shen, who was about to step forward, silently pulled back his extended leg, supporting Baihidu into the wheelchair. I naturally pushed him inside. When we reached the study, Baihidu said, go and rest. I said, I'm not tired. Baihidu said helplessly, don't your feet hurt? I was stunned. I was wearing high heels. After walking for a long time, my feet indeed felt a bit uncomfortable. I didn't expect him to actually notice. A wave of sweetness rose in my heart. I said obediently, oh, I'll go and change out of them now. My skirt fluttered past his eyes. I left the study. Baihidu retracted his gaze and took out the document from the box. He saw that the transferor section already had Xia Lian's name on it. But the transferee section was still blank. He only needed to sign his own name there. And these shares would be his. Seeing that Ninth Lord hadn't moved for a long time, Lin Shen thought he didn't intend to accept this gift. But suddenly Baihidu spoke. Extending his slender hand, Lin Shen was surprised, and immediately took a pen from the desk, and handed it over respectfully. Baihidu took the pen, and unhurriedly, signed his name on the document. There was a hint of seriousness and solemnity in it, as if he had taken every word I said seriously. I went back to my room. and changed out of the formal dress. Thinking of Bahidu's concern, the corners of my mouth wouldn't stop curling up. After tidying myself up, I took the bouquet of flowers that was about to wilt out of the vase, planning to make them into bookmarks. This was the first bouquet of flowers Bahidu had ever given me. It had important commemorative significance, and couldn't be thrown away just like that. But soon, my good mood vanished. There were 99 roses in total. I had counted them at the time. There were still 99 flowers now, but nearly half of them had been swapped out. What had been stuffed in were just some ordinary roses of a similar color. My face darkened, and I immediately left the room holding the bouquet. Once downstairs, I called all the servants over. I asked coldly, who touched my flowers? The servants looked at each other. Madam, we haven't touched the flowers. Is something wrong? I didn't answer, my cold gaze searching among the servants. Suddenly, I stopped. Xiaomei. Everyone looked at Xiaomei. Xiaomei kept her head down, her expression changing slightly as she stepped out. Madam, I haven't touched your flowers. You're responsible for cleaning my room, aren't you? I asked. Xiaomei pinched the corner of her clothes. Yes, then explain to me what's going on with this. I pointed to the bouquet. The rare variety looks the same as the ordinary one at first glance. But if you look closely, the difference is still very obvious. Xiaomei, I don't know. It has nothing to do with me. Who else has entered my room besides you? Xiaomei was speechless, her face turning slightly pale. She thought that since she'd only swapped a few flowers, I wouldn't notice. Where did you take the flowers? I was in a very bad mood. Such an important gift had been ruined like this. Wu Xiaoya just happened to walk over. Xiaomei instinctively looked toward her. Wu Xiaoya hurriedly shot her a look. Xiaomei gritted her teeth and said vaguely, I gave them away. Gave them away? I let out a cold laugh. Who gave you the right to touch my things as you please? And even give them away to others? Wu Xiaoya stepped forward. Madam, it's just a few flowers. You didn't seem to care about them being there anyway. Is there any need to be so aggressive? I sat down gracefully on the sofa nearby. I looked up at her. Hasn't Aunt Wu taught you how to speak to me yet? Wu Xiaoya's expression stiffened. I continued, I am the madam. Whatever she touched belongs to me. How I handle it is my business. It's not your place to speak. I didn't give her any face at all. After saying that, I ignored Wu Xiaoya. I looked at Aunt Wu, who was walking over. I asked, are there rules in Eugene Garden? How is this situation supposed to be handled? Aunt Wu said, in serious cases causing significant loss, the person will be kicked out of Eugene Garden. But for minor offenses, they can be given another chance. Saying this, she didn't wait for me to speak and scolded Xiaomei. Hurry up and apologize to madam. Luckily you only took a few flowers this time. The situation isn't too serious. Otherwise, you'd definitely be kicked out. Xiaomei hurriedly said. Madam, I was wrong. Please forgive me this once. I curled my lips in a mocking smirk, entering my room and stealing my things without permission. Yet in Aunt Wu's mouth, it was just a light-hearted. Taking a few flowers. Is the management of Eugene Garden really this lax? Aunt Wu said, Madam, if you don't believe me, we can go ask Ninth Lord. Let Ninth Lord decide. I looked at her with a cold, clear gaze, not saying a word. The living room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The servants were all secretly shocked. They originally thought this new madam was just a young girl who didn't understand anything. Now it seemed they had all guessed wrong. Fine. I can give you one chance this time. And I won't hold a grudge for now. I finally spoke, saying to Xiaomei in a flat tone. But if there's a next time, your fate won't be as simple as just leaving Eugene Garden. Xiaomei let out a sudden sigh of relief. Thank you, madam. She didn't take my warning to heart. I stood up. How could I bear to let Baihidu be stuck in the middle between me and Aunt Wu? It was just letting Xiaomei off once. It was nothing. I would have plenty of ways to deal with her later. I'm deducting your bonuses for the next few months. No objections, right? I said to Xiaomei before walking away. Xiaomei's face stiffened. She forced a smile and said, no objections. But in her heart, she was filled with hate. After I left, Xiaomei was pulled outside by Wu Xiaoya. Don't worry, Xiaomei. You're only being punished this time because of me. I'll compensate you for the deducted bonuses. Wu Xiaoya said. Xiaoya, you're so kind. Xiaomei was moved, completely forgetting that the flowers she stole were all stolen to help Wu Xiaoya. Wu Xiaoya said, aren't we best friends? However, I feel like you definitely won't last long in Eugene Garden. Madam is narrow-minded. She agreed to my mom for now, but she'll definitely find a way to kick you out later. Xiaomei's expression changed. Seeing her reaction, Wu Xiaoya sighed. You used so many connections and worked so hard to get this job opportunity. Thinking about it really makes one feel resentful. The look in Xiaomei's eyes shifted several times. She suddenly said fiercely, then wouldn't it be fine if she gets kicked out first? Wu Xiaoya secretly curled her lips into a smile. The flower issue wasn't a major deal. I didn't mention it to Baihidu. I sorted through the remaining half bouquet to press them into a book. But I realized I didn't have any books. I ran over and knocked on Baihidu's study door. Lin Shen opened the door. He tactfully stepped aside. Ninth Lord. Madam is here. What's wrong? Baihidu put down his work and looked at me. I hid my hands behind my back and asked obediently, husband, do you have any books you don't need? Can you lend me a few? I had changed into a fresh outfit. Baihidu paused for a moment. You can come in and take them yourself. I walked in. Within 2 steps, I exposed the flowers hidden behind my back. Baihidu was slightly stunned. You still have them? I felt a bit embarrassed. The flowers are almost dry. But meeting his slightly suppressed gaze, I still said, you gave these to me. How could I throw them away? I want to put them in a book to preserve them. Baihidu was momentarily speechless. The look in his eyes became even deeper. At dinner, the 2 of us ate together. I was secretly happy. Just as I was about to leave the table after eating, Baihidu's phone suddenly rang. It was from the old madam. Standing to the side, I vaguely heard the old lady's voice on the phone. She was talking about some temple, where she had gotten a jade guanine for him. She was sending it over tomorrow, and told him he must wear it properly. Baihidu said softly, okay. Finally, the old lady asked tentatively. That girl has moved into Eugene Garden, right? How is she? Baihidu paused and glanced to the side. His brows and eyes softened unconsciously. She's very good. This was the first time I heard him give a positive evaluation. The old lady was overjoyed. Extremely happy. At the end, she added, if only you could give me a little great-grandson soon. I didn't deliberately eavesdrop, but I vaguely heard that sentence. My cheeks immediately burned. I uncomfortably turned my head away. Baihidu slightly tilted his head, looking at my flushed ear tips. His gaze was bottomless, and he didn't answer. He made a few casual remarks and hung up. Not that you said you wanted to continue making bookmarks? He said, go on. I still had half of the bookmarks I started during the day to finish. Oh, okay. I ran upstairs. When I reached the corner of the stairs, I took a peek down and quietly touched my ear. While resting, I thought about the old madam and couldn't help but feel surprised. I didn't expect that before we even met, the old lady would already like me this much. Thinking back to my previous life, the old madam never gave me a pleasant look, but that was normal. In my previous life, I tried to run away from the marriage from the start. Even after being sent back to Eugene Garden, I never showed Baihidu any warmth. How could the old lady like me like that? The next afternoon, the person the old madam sent arrived, but the timing was unfortunate. Half an hour ago, Baihidu had just left Eugene Garden for something urgent. The visitor carefully held a primitive-looking box. When handing it to a servant, they said, this is the jade guanine the old madam personally requested for Ninth Lord. Be careful not to drop it. Xiaomei's eyes flashed as she stepped forward. Give it to me. I'll take it to madam so she can hand it over to Ninth Lord. The servant holding the box was trembling with fear, and hurriedly gave the opportunity to her. I was just about to take a nap, when I was woken by a knock on the door. I opened the door and saw it was Xiaomei. I asked coldly, what is it? Xiaomei respectfully presented the box. This was sent over from the old madam. She said it's for Ninth Lord. Ninth Lord isn't home, so I brought it to madam. I took a look and nodded. Put it down. Xiaomei put down the box and left. I went over and glanced at it, but I didn't touch it. After waking up from my nap, Baihidu was back. As I went downstairs, I heard Xiaomei saying, the item is with madam. When I saw Ninth Lord hadn't returned, and such a precious item shouldn't be left around, I delivered it to madam. Hearing them talk about the box, I said, it's with me. I turned back to get it and handed it to Baihidu. I asked curiously, is it the jade guanine grandma sent you? Baihidu grunted. Lin Shen, who was on the side, added, this jade guanine was personally requested from the temple by the old madam for Ninth Lord. He suddenly stopped speaking. There was a dead silence. Baihidu's face turned icy cold. Inside the opened box, the originally exquisite jade guanine had now shattered into several pieces. The servant who first received the box suddenly turned pale. They stammered, it has nothing to do with me. Ninth Lord, I wasn't the one who took the item. It was Xiaomei. Xiaomei looked at me with an expression of great shock. As soon as I got it, I sent it straight to madam. I immediately became the center of everyone's attention. My gaze turned cold. When I saw the shattered jade guanine, I realized things were bad. The servants all looked at me quietly, with sympathy and pity. It was over. Ninth Lord placed extreme importance on gifts from the old madam. I hurriedly looked at the man. I didn't do it. After I received this box from Xiaomei's hands, I never touched it. I don't know how it broke either. If the item was fine when it was delivered, but it's suddenly broken now, and I didn't touch it, then only one suspect remained. Looking at my anxious explanation, Baihidu's expression softened slightly. Just as he was about to speak, the old madam suddenly arrived. Everyone looked toward the door at the same time. They saw an old lady radiating nobility, being supported by Wu Xiaoya as she walked in. What's going on here? The old madam asked. Then she saw the shattered jade guanine, and her face changed instantly. She walked over quickly. What's the matter with this? Who broke it? Old madam, you must stand up for me. Xiaomei actually fell to her knees with a thud. She cried and pleaded, I was the one who received the item. After that, I delivered it to madam's hands. Now that the jade guanine is broken, madam is probably going to say I'm the one who broke it, but I didn't. I really didn't. If this crime is pinned on me, I couldn't pay for it even if I went bankrupt. This is trying to drive me to my death. Wu Xiaoya said. To break like this, it would take a lot of force to achieve this result, right? Then how could it be Xiaomei? She's just a servant. Just as she said. If she broke it, she couldn't afford to pay even if she went bankrupt. How could she possibly drop it on purpose? Has she gone crazy? With Xiaomei's suspicion eliminated, only I remained as the biggest suspect. The old madam looked at me. Her expression not very good. You must be Ninth Lord's new wife. Tell me honestly, did you break it? I didn't expect that. The first meeting with the old madam after my rebirth would be in this kind of situation. I didn't know if she would have a preconceived bad impression of me. In my previous life, I didn't care. But now, I wanted things to be good with Baihidu. I calmed myself down. Grandma, it wasn't me. Wu Xiaoya immediately said. Do you have any evidence to prove it wasn't you? My sharp, cold gaze shot toward her. The jade guanine suddenly breaks. And the old madam suddenly appears. Everything fits together too perfectly. Wu Xiaoya was frightened by my look, and instinctively wanted to shrink back. But she continued to be aggressive. You have no evidence at all. On what grounds? Enough. A deep voice rang out. The one who spoke was actually Baihidu. Xiaoya bit her lip. Ninth Lord. Baihidu ignored her. Instead, he said to the old madam, just consider it an accidental slip of the hand. Let's not pursue this matter further. It's just a pity for Grandma's thoughtful gift. Once the injury on my leg is healed, I will personally go to the temple with Grandma to request another one. Wu Xiaoya was filled with hatred. Ninth Lord was actually protecting this woman. I also looked at him in surprise, feeling both happy and a bit lost. The old madam's anger vanished in an instant, replaced only by shock and delight. Her grandson actually learned how to plead for someone? Fine, I'll listen to you. The old madam said lovingly. Wu Xiaoya was unwilling. Just then, I gently pulled on the man's sleeve. I have evidence. Baihidu said, what? I said, I have evidence to prove my innocence. In an instant, all eyes were on me. You have evidence? What evidence? Wu Xiaoya pressed. I ignored her, and looked at Xiaomei. After you received the item, you gave it straight to me. No third person touched it, right? Xiaomei said confidently, yes. I brought it and immediately gave it to madam. I didn't give it to anyone else in between. And when I received it downstairs earlier, everyone saw it. At that time, the jade guanine was still perfectly intact. I curled my lips in a mocking smile. Suddenly I said, there's a camera in my bedroom. Whether I touched it or not after you gave it to me, we can just check the surveillance and we'll know. Wu Xiaoya and Xiaomei's faces changed simultaneously. Xiaomei's heart sank. She instinctively looked at Wu Xiaoya. Wu Xiaoya gave her a look, you can't admit it. However, Xiaomei hesitated for a moment, and then fell to her knees with a thud. Old madam, Ninth Lord. It was me. I did it. I dropped the jade guanine, and wanted to frame madam. Everyone was shocked. Xiaomei said while crying, yesterday madam punished me, and deducted several months of my bonuses. I had hate in my heart, so I wanted to take revenge on her. I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. She cried miserably, slapping herself in the face. The way the servants looked at her changed instantly. The old madam frowned and looked at me. You punished her? Wu Xiaoya immediately said, yes, because yesterday Xiaomei took a few flowers that were about to wither. Madam deducted several months of her bonuses. Xiaomei's family is in difficulty. Her father is disabled, her mother is seriously ill, and her brother's education depends entirely on her. The old madam's gaze toward me suddenly turned a bit displeased. The servants also thought that the new madam was a bit too lacking in compassion. However, I remained unmoved. Just as I was about to speak, Baihidu's voice rang out beside me. The flowers I gave you were stolen? I was stunned and looked at him. I saw Baihidu's brow furrowed. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't expect him to actually care about such a small matter. My heart warmed. I shook my head and said, she swapped out half of them. I handled it myself, so I didn't tell you. You're so busy every day. It's already very tiring. Baihidu's long fingers, resting casually on the armrest, slightly curled. Then, with a gaze that had zero warmth, he looked at Xiaomei. Given what you did, the madam, only deducting a few months of your bonus, was already far too merciful. Xiaomei was dazed. She turned her head and cried out to the old madam. The old madam sighed. Ninth Lord, it's just a few flowers. Forget it. We can get another jade guanine. Stealing the owner's property without permission, destroying the owner's wealth, and deliberately framing others. Yujing Garden has no room for such a person, Baihidu said flatly. I could see he was venting his anger for me. My heart felt sweet. But I didn't want him and the old madam to be unhappy. So I quietly tugged on his sleeve, to signal him to stop talking. Then I said to the old madam, "Grandma, this Xiaomei is full of lies. Not a single word of hers can be believed." The old madam was confused. Xiaomei opened her mouth to argue. But my cold gaze locked onto her first. "You said your father is disabled. Your mother is seriously ill. And your brother needs money for school. Why is what I know different from what you said? How come I heard both your parents have perfectly fine limbs? And are in good health, addicted to the gambling table every day, living quite a carefree life? And that brother of yours? He took the college entrance exam 2 years ago, and he didn't even get into a university at all, right? What school is he attending?" Xiaomei's expression changed abruptly. She looked at me in disbelief. How could she know about my family's situation? "Is what you're saying true?" The old madam was shocked. I nodded. My features elegant and obedient. "Of course it's true. If you don't believe me, you can send someone to check." "Old madam, I didn't lie." Xiaomei's face was deathly pale. Her eyes were full of guilt. It was obvious that what I said was true. The old madam was furious. She simply gave up. Angrily, she said, "Ninth Lord, handle it yourselves." Seeing that the old madam was willing to believe me, I breathed a sigh of relief. Coming back to my senses, I found that I was still tugging on Baihidu's sleeve. The man was looking down at my hand, his eyes slightly lowered. I quickly retracted my hand. He lifted his eyelids and looked at me with those deep, dark eyes. I hid my hands behind my back and blinked my beautiful eyes at him. I looked incredibly innocent. "Husband, what's wrong?" "It's nothing." I didn't know if it was my imagination, but I vaguely sensed a hint of regret in those 2 words. While the old madam was quietly observing me, she was evaluating in her heart. She saw the subtle, almost invisible intimacy between me and Baihidu. She felt even more excited inside. I noticed the old madam's gaze, but I didn't mind. I generously let her examine me. My gaze shifted to Xiaomei, who was slumped on the floor. I instinctively reached out to tug Baihidu's sleeve again. "How should we deal with Xiaomei?" Baihidu's gaze paused on his sleeve. His voice was deep and slow, seemingly indulgent. "What do you want to do?" I immediately complained to him. I gave her one chance yesterday, and said that if there was a next time, it definitely wouldn't be as simple as being kicked out of Eugene Garden. She didn't take my words to heart. She even dared to destroy the gift Grandma gave you, and deliberately framed me. "This behavior is too malicious." Baihidu grunted. "I think just kicking her out of Eugene Garden isn't enough. We should hand her over to the police, then let justice take its course." Baihidu said, "Okay." Why did I feel like he was distracted? "Did you hear clearly what I said, husband?" Baihidu's gaze moved away from my lily-white hand. His handsome, deep face looked normal. "What you said is fine. Everything will be done as you say." "Ninth Lord, I was wrong." All the strength was instantly drained from Xiaomei. This time, she was really crying miserably. Baihidu knit his brows, feeling a bit displeased. Lin Shen knew he was being bothered by the noise. He immediately made a gesture. Someone immediately dragged Xiaomei away. Only then did Baihidu look at the old madam. He said gently, "Grandma, why did you come over suddenly?" My eyes flickered. I also felt the same. Usually, items like the jade guanine are sent by a messenger. This suggests the old madam originally had no plan to come over. Yet she came. And the timing was so coincidental, happening to walk in right when Xiaomei was accusing me. The old madam held Wu Xiaoya's hand and said lovingly, "Just now, Xiaoya, this girl, came to my place. Speaking of your situation, I was a bit worried. So I came over with Wu Xiaoya." I looked up, feeling that it was just as I expected. While I was thinking about this, the old madam's gaze suddenly fell on me. "This must be the little girl from the Yun family, right? She is quite pretty." I put on the manner of a respectful junior. Obedient and graceful. "Yes, Grandma. My name is Yun Manxia. You can just call me Manxia." The old madam nodded. After a moment of thought, she said, "Let's forget about what happened before. We won't mention it again. But from now on, you are Ninth Lord's wife. You need to learn a few things, and act like the wife of a prominent family. For example, you should be more magnanimous in your actions." I was stunned. As I was being lectured, Wu Xiaoya secretly curled her lips into a smile. Take Xiaomei just now for instance. It wasn't wrong to punish her in the end. But yesterday, she only took a few flowers from you. If they were fresh, it would be one thing. But she said they were several days old and about to wither. Even if she hadn't taken them, you would have thrown them out as trash. Deducting several months of her bonus just for that is a bit excessive. I opened my mouth, but before I could speak, my hand, which was resting unconsciously on the armrest, was suddenly held by someone. It was a large palm, able to easily envelop my entire hand within it. The warmth carried a sense of reassurance, signaling me not to speak. My skin felt as if it had been scorched. The grievance in my heart vanished in an instant, replaced by a slight sense of loss. Staring at the man's godlike profile, I thought resentfully. How could he let go after just one touch? It didn't even last a second. As I was thinking this, the man locked eyes with me for 2 seconds, then moved away in his wheelchair. Before the man had gone far, Bai Qingxian appeared before my eyes, speaking in a loud tone. Why did you block me? I curled my lip, feeling somewhat disgusted. I blocked you. Don't you understand what that means? Bai Qingxian was shocked and a bit angry, but he forced himself to suppress it. Are you afraid I'll blame you? He should have told you. As long as you apologize sincerely, it's not impossible for me to forgive you. He said this while leaning in, ambiguously bracing his hand on the pillar next to my head. From a distance, the posture between the two was extremely intimate. Stay away from me. I have a husband. Bai Qingxian gave a disdainful snort at the mention of my husband. I heard that the man you married is an old man. And a cripple too. How can he compare to me? Even if that man has money, can he have as much money as my family? Manxia, I'm giving you one chance. Stop throwing a tantrum with me. As long as you admit your mistake and apologize. In the shadows not far away, Bai Hidu's wheelchair was quietly parked there. Bai Qingxuan's voice was too loud. He could vaguely hear him call me an old man. And a cripple. He truly can't compare to him. Bai Hidu spoke, his deep voice unreadable in emotion. Then why did she marry me? Lin Shen didn't dare to answer. They seemed very close, looking at the two who seemed inseparable. He asked Lin Shen, who bowed his head cautiously. The second miss of the Yun family has been to Yujing Garden before. She said the madam has someone she likes. If I'm not mistaken. On the armrest, the man's hand unconsciously tightened its grip. There was a dead silence. A moment later, he said, let's go. Lin Shen didn't dare to probe the man's mood at all. He hurriedly pushed the wheelchair and left silently. I didn't notice at all that someone had come. And left quietly. I looked at this arrogant and inexplicably self-confident man before me. I felt that in my past life, I must have been blind. Seeing that I didn't speak, Bai Qingxian hinted. But the apology gift had better satisfy me. I heard that you got back the shares you left with your stepmother. After saying that, he waited with full confidence. I understood what he meant. And I found it laughable. You want those shares? Bai Qingxian said righteously, no. If you bring them to me as an apology gift. What kind of daydream are you having in broad daylight? I interrupted him unceremoniously. My beautiful eyes were full of blatant mockery. Bai Qingxian was stunned. Manxia, can you stay away from me? I shrank my head back in disgust, fanning my hand in front of my nose. Your bad breath is suffocating me. Bai Qingxuan's face turned green then red. Extremely annoyed. Yun Manxia, seeing that he didn't take my words to heart. I smiled coldly. I raised my foot and gave him a direct kick to the groin. There's a limit to self-importance. I pushed him away in disgust, looking at him like he was a piece of trash. Who's throwing a tantrum with you? Do you think I'm still as naive and ignorant as before? Madly infatuated with you? Wake up. I've seen the world now. My husband is so outstanding that looking at you for another second hurts my eyes. After speaking my mind, I strode away with a sense of satisfaction. Bai Qingxian was shocked, completely unable to believe it. Qingxian, Mrs. Bai, Lu Wei, came looking for him, seeing her son covered in cold sweat, his face pale, and still maintaining a subtle posture. She was startled and hurried forward. What happened? Bai Qingxian quickly endured the pain and stood up, weakly saying, it's nothing. I just feel a bit unwell. Lu Wei showed some concern, but she clearly had more important matters. She looked around, and seeing no one else, she said, I just heard that you came here to meet Yun Manxia. Qingxian, you can't be foolish. What kind of status does that Yun Manxia have to be worthy of you? She looked disdainful. That woman probably dreams of marrying into our Bai family. She doesn't even think about her own conditions. Is she worthy? Someone like her can only marry a nouveau riche. She showed a smile again, saying loftily, our family is different now. Since your ninth uncle came to Yangqing a year ago, our family's status has also risen. Look at how many people outside are trying to flatter our family. Maybe in the future, our family can even go to the imperial city. Can Yun Manxia be worthy of such a family background? Then she urged her son, I heard your ninth uncle is here. Go and get close to him. Let him get familiar with you, his nephew. Remember, if any girls seduce you at the banquet, just play around with them. You can't take them seriously. Your future wife will be from the imperial city. The family backgrounds of the girls there will be worthy of you. Thinking of the me who had undergone a huge change in attitude, Bai Qingxian was absent-minded. He said irritably, I know. I walked with light steps into the banquet hall through the back door. TSK, that ninth Lord Bai is both old and ugly. He said to be a violent madman. I heard that several of his wives were beaten to death by him. I heard he just married his fourth. Guess how long before this one is carried out? Hearing Bai Hidu's name, my footsteps suddenly stopped. The ones speaking were several ladies and socialites, gathered not far away. Their tone and expressions were extremely exaggerated. My eyes narrowed. I turned my steps and walked toward them. The group was still saying, I heard he's a cripple too. That ninth lord Bai must be in his 40s or 50s, right? With such conditions, so what if he's rich? I wouldn't bear to let my daughter marry him. The girl beside her had a look of disgust. She said unhappily, Mom, don't talk nonsense. I would never marry someone like that. And don't put my name together with an old man's. It makes me sick. I approached at this moment. Furious in my heart, I let out a rude sneer. Before you think about marrying him, see if you're even worthy. Do you think ninth lord Bai takes just any trash? The group immediately turned their heads to look. They saw a stunningly beautiful girl standing there, looking at them with an unfriendly expression. A flash of jealousy appeared in the eyes of the girl who had just spoken. She sneered, we're talking among ourselves, what's it to you? What's with that tone of yours? Could it be that you actually want to marry that old and ugly man? The girl's mother, Mrs. Liu, identified me carefully. I guessed she assumed I was a girl with no family background. She mocked further, we're talking about ninth lord Bai. Decent girls don't want to marry a man like that. But aren't there those who interpret? Women who are greedy for wealth. What wouldn't those women do for money? I sneered coldly. You speak so vividly. It seems you've all met ninth lord Bai. We haven't, but who hasn't heard of him? Everyone says so. Could it be fake? Mrs. Liu said. Others chimed in, their expressions disdainful and mocking. Ninth lord Bai is exactly like that. Is that even a secret? Who doesn't know? He's at that age and a cripple too. Yet he keeps marrying wives one after another. Maybe he's even an old pervert. Suddenly, there was a chorus of screams and chaos. I grabbed a wine glass and splashed it over their heads. In an instant, others in the hall were drawn to the commotion, casting their gazes here from all directions. So much gossip. I thought you'd all actually seen him. You're the definition of long-tongued gossips. With such big mouths. You just have to have a say in everything. If you're so brave, go talk nonsense in front of ninth lord Bai. I let it all out in one go. My pretty face full of murderous intent. How dare you insult my husband? Don't blame me for being rude. Where did this shrew come from? Quick, call security and throw her out. I was quick with my hands. I didn't just splash one glass of wine. By now, 7 or 8 people were in a sorry state. Trembling with rage. What's going on? It was the old madam of the Bai family, Bai Jiangong's mother. The old lady celebrating her 60th birthday. Approached, surrounded by people. Grandma Bai, there's a crazy woman here. Miss Liu ran over crying to complain. Old Madam Bai maintained her air of a grand matriarch. She glanced at me. Which family are you from? With a bang. I set down the empty wine glass on the table. I leisurely pulled out a tissue. To wipe the wine traces off my hand. This attitude of ignoring her infuriated old Madam Bai. At that moment, Yun and I, who followed behind her, let out a cry. Manxia, why is it you? She immediately asked, you know her? Yun and I glanced at me, hesitating to speak. Looking embarrassed, she said, Old Madam, this is my sister. Yun Manxia, apologize. She's a bit ignorant. This act of taking it upon herself to apologize for me made my beautiful eyes turn cold. Yun Manxia? Old Madam Bai instantly remembered. She said disdainfully, so it's this kind of trash. Indeed, without a mother to teach her since childhood, she has no upbringing at all. I heard you got married. And married an old, ugly cripple. My hand holding the tissue suddenly tightened. Those people, upon hearing old Madam Bai's words, all showed realization. They sneered, no wonder she reacted so strongly. When she heard us talking about ninth lord Bai, it turns out her husband is the same. So this is Yun Manxia. I've heard of her husband. Supposedly a man who can't be presented in public. He doesn't even dare to leave the house. TSK, no wonder she's so agitated. Fury rose in my heart. I picked up a large glass of champagne near me, and cleanly splashed it at those people speaking. The people were almost completely soaked. Their makeup smeared all over their faces. Yun Manxia, you dare. I sneered coldly, slightly lifting my delicate, beautiful chin. Whether I dare or not. Haven't my actions already shown it? Go on, keep talking. See if I dare to do it again. The people screamed. How dare you be so presumptuous in front of the old madam? Do you know what place this is? This is the Bai family. Old Madam Bai's face indeed turned dark with anger. Indeed, coming from a petty family. Your actions have no upbringing. I didn't hold back at all. Shooting back. Indeed, starting out as a mistress. You can't distinguish right from wrong in your words and actions. Everyone showed shocked expressions. No one expected me to be so bold, daring to speak so recklessly to old Madam Bai. The old madam's face was ashen with rage. Her chest heaving violently. She almost fainted. She pointed at me and shouted in anger, Guards! Guards, seize her! Teach her what rules are. Just as she finished speaking, an annoyed voice came through. My name is Yun Manxia. Today, I returned to the Bai family with my husband, Bai Hidu. Not long after arriving, I heard several gossips discussing my husband, saying he was old and ugly. As I was arguing back with fervor, Bai Jiangong arrived. The scene fell silent instantly. Bai Jiangong didn't come alone. Beside him was a man in a wheelchair. My husband, Bai Hidu. Bai Jiangong was extremely respectful to him, even flatteringly calling him Ninth Lord. Ninth Lord? Everyone was stunned. The faces of those who had been gossiping turned pale. Old Madame Bai Jiangong's mother, the mother who started as a mistress, immediately pointed at me to complain. Ninth Lord, this girl looked down on you. I was just about to teach her a lesson. Bai Hidu glanced at me. She looks down on me? Exactly. She clearly knew her relationship with Ninth Lord. Yet she pointed at my nose and cursed. If that's not looking down on Ninth Lord, then what is? Old Madame Bai grew angrier as she spoke. Ninth Lord, you must not let her go. I directly rolled my eyes. No way, no way. Just a mistress. When did you start representing Ninth Lord Bai's dignity? Old lady, who gave you such a big face? Old Madame Bai was so angry she stumbled. Her grandson, Bai Qingxian, happened to come over to support her. He scolded me with a dark face. Manxia. Before you speak, look at what place this is. Who gave you the nerve to speak to my grandmother like that? I looked at my husband, and my eyes darted around. What's wrong with this place? With my husband here, I can speak like this anywhere. Bai Qingxian gave a disdainful sneer. Your husband? As far as I know, your husband just has a bit of money. He's not even fit to carry my shoes. I smiled with schadenfreude. Without hesitation, I turned around. Husband, Bai Qingxian said you aren't even fit to carry his shoes. My voice reporting him was extremely loud. Everyone was stunned. Husband? Then, they saw the hem of my skirt fluttering as I ran toward Bai Hidu. The hall was in dead silence. Lin Shen's cold voice rang out. Young Master Bai, such a grand air you have. Our Ninth Lord isn't even fit to carry your shoes? Bai Qingxuan's face turned pale. No. I didn't mean that. Ninth Uncle, I didn't know it was you. Bai Hidu ignored him, only seeing that I was having a lot of fun. I dodged his gaze guiltily. I'm not playing around. Husband. Someone insulted you. I reported them one by one, and pointed at Bai Qingxian again. Bai Hidu's gaze finally fell on Bai Qingxian. With just one look, Bai Qingxian was so scared his legs went soft. Ninth Lord, Qingxian didn't do it on purpose. Bai Jiangong pleaded, covered in cold sweat. Bai Hidu's finger tapped lightly on the armrest. Just as he was about to speak, his hand was pressed down by me. I stepped in ahead. Thinking you can get over it by saying it wasn't on purpose? How can it be that simple? Bai Qingxian was in disbelief. Manxia. I looked back, my eyes wide as I looked at Bai Hidu. Husband, don't you agree? Bai Hidu looked at my hand pressing on his. Of course it's not that simple. Ninth Lord. The Bai father and son looked ashen. I smiled and rubbed my palms together. Then, husband, how should we punish him? Bai Hidu asked. How do you want to punish him? There was actually a hint of indulgence in his tone. My eyes lit up. I get to decide? Of course you can. A bad premonition rose in Bai Qingxian. I ran to the edge of the outdoor pool, and gave orders without hesitation. Adjust the water temperature to 60 degrees Celsius. Scary steam soon rose from the water's surface. I turned back and smiled. Young Master Bai. You can come over now. Bai Qingxuan's face was grim as he didn't move. My eyes narrowed. I turned my head. Husband, young Master Bai doesn't seem very convinced. Bai Hidu supported me without principle. Bai Jiangong. Your son is not convinced? Bai Jiangong's cold sweat poured down. He raised his hand and slapped his son. Didn't you hear what the madam said? Hurry up and go over. Bai Qingxian walked to the pool's edge. I turned around with my arms crossed. With a dark face, he did as he was told. Stick your butt out. What did you say? He was shocked. I smiled. I said, stick your butt out. Otherwise, it'll be hard for me to kick you. Didn't you hear? Bai Qingxuan's face was ashen. Yun Manxia, don't go too far. Seeing that he wasn't cooperating, my face changed instantly. I gave a cold snort, and turned my head to shout, husband. Bai Hidu. Bai Jiangong. Bai Jiangong turned his head and roared. Hurry up and do as Madame Jiao says. Under the pressure, Bai Qingxian humiliatingly bent over. Snickers came from around. With a gloomy face, he whispered a warning, Manxia. I'll give you one last chance. It's still not too late for you to apologize to me. Before he could finish, I gave him a sudden, hard kick. With a splash, Bai Qingxian crashed into the water. He was instantly scalded and began screaming. I walked to the edge of the pool, and looked down at him. What did you just say? Bai Qingxian struggled to surface. Yun Manxia. Let me remind you. I interrupted him leisurely, I am now Ninth Lord's wife. With your status, it seems you don't have the qualification to call me by name. His expression froze. Seeing him like a drowned dog, I was in high spirits. You can come up whenever I'm happy. I turned back to Bai Hidu. He asked me if I was happy. I instinctively wanted to nod, but stopped and changed my tune, not that happy yet. My gaze swept around, and landed on the ones who were gossiping just now. Husband. There was more than one person saying bad things about you just now. Their faces all turned white. Mrs. Liu and her daughter's legs already began to go weak. And I. Ninth Lord. We didn't do it on purpose. Husband, they did it on purpose. I reported them with a chattering mouth. They explicitly said Ninth Lord Bai was this and that. I tried to stop them, but they wouldn't listen. They even scolded me. I looked piteously aggrieved. Baihidu found it a bit funny. Are you so angry because they spoke ill of me? Of course I'm angry. Baihidu was slightly stunned. Then what will it take for you to not be angry? His tone was indulgent. I looked back at Bai Qingshan in the water. I smiled. In such hot weather, why don't we let them go into the water to cool off too? A flicker of amusement passed through Baihidu's eyes. He said softly, Xiao Xiao is very kind. Kind? Miss Lu screamed as she backed away. With red eyes, she looked at Ninth Master Baihidu. We really didn't say anything bad about you. It's Yun Manxia who is talking nonsense. And framing innocent people, she began to whimper and cry. Looking completely pitiable, I was about to explode with anger. She was just insulting my husband, and now that she sees how handsome he is, she's trying to seduce him. Just as I was about to speak, Baihidu beside me spoke first. She doesn't like the look of you. That is reason enough to punish you. His voice was powerful and indifferent. It allowed no room for contradiction. The sobbing Miss Lu froze in shock. And I, Ninth Master. She widened her eyes in disbelief. Baihidu ignored her. He asked me what I wanted to do. His voice had softened significantly. I snapped back to reality instantly. I looked at him with sparkling eyes. This undisguised indulgence and favoritism made me very happy. I originally wanted to send them down there myself, but there are too many people. Never mind, let Linshan do it. I glanced at those pale faces of the ladies and young misses. Surprisingly, I felt a bit of regret. Ninth Master. Miss Lu still tried to plead, but Baihidu didn't even give her a glance. Linshan. Yes. Soon, Linshan led his men into action. The first one thrown into the water was old Mrs. Bai. Ninth Master, I didn't say anything bad about you. I didn't. She was dazed as she was lifted up. She hurriedly shouted her explanation. Weren't you just cursing at me with such enthusiasm? I said slowly, throwing her own logic back at her. Ninth Master is my husband. If you look down on me, you look down on Ninth Master. Is there any difference? After old Mrs. Bai, it was the others. This one, and that one over there. My gaze was sharp and precise. I singled out the ones from earlier from the crowd. Humph. No one who spoke ill of my husband will escape. Splash after splash, the sounds followed one after another. I stood elegantly beside Baihidu. My eyes searched through the crowd. Suddenly, my eyes narrowed. I caught Yuni trying to hide behind others. She hadn't spoken ill of Baihidu. But the things she said, deliberately in front of old Mrs. Bai, I remember them all. I immediately gave Linshan a look. Linshan paused for a moment. He actually understood me. He walked over and dragged Yuni out. What are you doing? Yuni shrieked, Assistant Lin. You've got the wrong person. I'm Manxia's sister. With a splash, she was thrown into the water. Linshan's expression didn't change. Sorry, my hand slipped. The corners of my lips curled up. I whispered, hubby. Remember to give Linshan a raise when we get back. Baihidu lowered his gaze. You like him that much? I hurriedly said, of course not. No one can compare to my husband. You are the best. Baihidu's furrowed brow finally smoothed out. I quietly sighed in relief. Linshan arranged guards around the pool. No one is allowed to come up. Yuni kept shouting, she's my sister. She tried to climb out. But as soon as she reached the edge, she was kicked back down. The conditions in the water were agonizing. The hot water felt like they were being boiled alive. Some were begging for mercy, others were weeping. I was in a good mood. Ninth Master. Qingshan knows he's wrong. Please forgive him just this once. Bai Qingshuan's mother, Lu Wei, rushed forward crying. Baihidu's tone was flat. Xia Xia. Do you agree to let him up? I snorted. I don't. Let him stay there. Lu Wei fumed, Yun Manxia. What is wrong with you? I smiled. Speaking to me in that tone. Do you want to join your son down there? Lu Wei's face turned pale instantly. Only then did she remember that I am now the Ninth Master's wife. Bai Jianglong hurriedly stepped forward to pull Qingshan back. He deserves to be punished for his reckless talk. With red eyes, Lu Wei turned her gaze away. She hated me with a passion. I saw the venomous look in her eyes. I sneered coldly in my heart. I had a deep impression of Lu Wei. In my previous life, she looked down on me, while shamelessly enjoying the benefits she received from me. I can't even count how many grievances I suffered because of her. Seeing Lu Wei like this now, I couldn't be happier. But this is only the beginning. Bai Jianglong smiled obsequiously and tested the Ninth Master. Madam, Ninth Master, when do you think they should come up? The banquet needs to continue. I'll let them up when I'm happy. I said, or is Mr. Bai feeling sorry for them? Do you think the Ninth Master or I am too cruel? Bai Jianglong hurriedly denied it. No, no. He stole a glance at the Ninth Master, feeling secretly shocked. The Ninth Master was actually letting me behave so recklessly. Our private matters with the Ninth Master seemed to have delayed everyone's time. Please, everyone, continue. My gaze swept across the guests. Go back to whatever you were doing. The hall gradually became lively again. But everyone kept stealing glances toward the pool. The banquet ended in such a strange atmosphere. Only then did I approach the pool as if remembering something. Wearing a feigned look of surprise, oh my. I seem to have forgotten about you all. I'm so sorry. The people in the water were so angry they could spit blood. Yunyi crawled to the edge and used all her strength to grab my ankle. She stared at me intensely. Yun Manxia, did you do this on purpose? I put on an innocent and startled expression. How could I? I only just saw you. Second sister, how did you fall in? Was it an accident? Yunyi's eyes rolled back. She fainted. I gave a little kick and shook off her hand. I turned around cheerfully. Hubby, let's go home. As we left, the Bai family was in chaos because of Bai Qingxian fainting. As I passed by, I stopped to look at the unconscious Bai Qingxian. You must get better. Don't just die like this. Lu Wei's face turned pale with rage. I glanced at her. I smiled. Ms. Lu, you should take care of your health too. Seeing Lu Wei's silent fury, I walked away with a light step. Hubby, let's go. But I noticed Bai Hida seemed a bit unhappy. Hubby? I looked at him cautiously. You like Bai Qingxian? My expression froze instantly. Who said that? I averted my gaze guiltily. So it's true. I sensed immediate danger. I replied without a second thought. Of course not. Who is slandering me? I hurriedly knelt down on one knee. Clinging to the armrest and holding his arm, I looked up at him. Hubby, you are the only one I like. Who is Bai Qingxian? He is not worthy of my affection. Who told you such nonsense? They must be framing me. You must not believe them. Bai Hida's expression remained unchanged. But you seem quite familiar with him. We used to know each other, I admitted honestly. But I really don't like him at all. He and I aren't even friends. Is that so? Bai Hida wasn't so easily fooled. From the way he treats you. It doesn't seem like you aren't even friends. That's just his own wishful thinking. I curled my lip in distaste. Then I couldn't help but feel secretly happy. Hubby, are you jealous? Bai Hida's lips thinned slightly. I pressed my face against the back of his hand. You are so wonderful. He can't compare to you in any way. I would never like him. I looked at him with such earnestness. Bai Hida gently raised his hand. His slightly calloused hand touched my cheek. The tickling sensation made me shrink my neck. Meeting his deep, dark eyes. My heart skipped a beat. I forced myself not to pull away. But my ears couldn't help turning red.